Welcome back as we are diving in to episode 23.
That is so much fucking better as an intro versus the last one I just did.
Because, man, we had a clusterfuck of a picture we took for this one. So
Yes.
you'll see it on the Twitter and Instagram.
We were like trying to stand on the table and
Ryan wanted to make the best picture that we've had with a guest, so we did.
Fucking, like the table went flying up and beers went flying.
I got smacked in the face.
It was a good time. Our guest today,
Ryan Sison.
Sison. No, it's Ryan Sison.
Yeah. We were saying Sison
in the last episode, and
we were wrong.
Yeah, and he even talks about how he doesn't like his last name because of how many times people pronounce it incorrectly. So, yeah, Ryan's fucking God, dude. Okay,
we're gonna start doing guests where in the intro we say whether or not we they have a good life story or if we just shoot the shit. And this one is a little bit of both.
Yeah, he talks about his life story in the first half, and then the second half because we started drinking and
we started drinking and the buzz started flowing a little bit,
and then just got into a bunch of random shit.
Suddenly it was just, hey, you guys like conspiracy theories?
So it's just a bunch of stupid shit, but a really great dude with a really cool fucking mindset,
and just a type of guy you want to have around all the time.
A blast to have on.
You see him and it smiles nonstop.
Caleb talks about how much he's a ray of sunshine, and that's exactly what it is.
Yep. And so if you know this dude and you haven't seen him in a while, hit him up because you're missing a little Ryan in your life.
Yes, you are. We've actually, both Caleb and I on separate occasions have talked to Ryan. Like we'll see him in passing or we'll see him at parties and we're like, we got to fucking hang out. And that's been happening for years.
Oh, dude, literally years.
And then
this was the hangout.
Yeah, and then we were talking about how just knocking out two birds with one stone, like the podcast is dope for that reason, dude.
We get to reconnect.
And you get to hang out with people while doing work.
Dude, if we weren't recording and we were just sitting around at a table talking for 3 hours and drinking and everything, we'd be like, man, this was an amazing time. Like, I didn't think we would ever do this, but because we have the podcast, we can just fucking do it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fucking fun, as always. Got to drinking a little bit, just had ourselves a
grand old time.
My favorite thing that Crystalia says is a loosey-goosey time, and I just, it was nice.
That's what it was.
So, without further ado, please help us welcome our guest, Ryan Sison, as
episode 23.
Start the episode now.
Yes! Welcome to the Nick and Tub
podcast. That was good. Again, always fucking stuff.
You know what? That fucking dumb podcast. I like it.
It's fucking good shit.
That was so good.
Dude, this is the best fucking thing we've ever done. So, what beer is this? You said.
I don't know. I picked it up. It's
a vanilla porter.
Yeah, it's a porter, not a stout.
Because I know what those mean.
Oh, from Colorado. Great.
See. Okay, here we go.
Are we gonna cheers?
Cheers, guys.
You guys want to start then? Cheers then, or just I don't give a fuck,
dude.
Damn.
All right, just do what we want and press record when we want to.
Is it super Asian to me to say this tastes like soy sauce?
Yeah. Oh, you're
honestly,
right.
It kind of
I don't know, but. Yeah, okay, that's crazy. That's it.
I'm gonna start that there. We're just gonna start there.
Super Asian to me.
We'll just do the clap because it bothers Caleb when we don't do it.
Yeah, no, it's ritual. We have to.
Yeah, that's
every episode we start off with a clap, basically because in the audio file when we clap, it spikes so we can see for him when he's like clipping it where to start it.
All right.
So we've made a tradition. You just clap above your head. On the count of 3.
So 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah,
let's get it,
dude. First fucking try.
I fucking love when people do it the first try because when we're by ourselves,
how do you miss? Do people miss?
Like
they just keep trying.
Bro, he missed the last episode we recorded.
I was so relaxed in my chair, like I showed you with my foot up on the table, that I went to go clap and just fucking did this and completely missed my own hand.
Both wrists just fucking crossed each other.
It's completely missed. God damn.
It was
God
good.
Damn it.
So
let's go.
Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
All right, guys. Well, my name is Ryan Sison.
Sison. We got your fucking last name wrong.
I fucking hate my last name so much, guys.
We love it.
Nah.
We all love it. Everybody listening loves it. You better love it.
Since day one, it's getting mispronounced, all that shit. So
I mean, I guess that's fair because like
we said Sison.
Yeah,
you were like Sison, Sison, Sison.
Oh my god! Yeah, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. Oh my god! Ryan, soy sauce. Fuck.
Oh shit! And
Jesus.
what do you do, my dude?
Well, like right now, what am I
Yeah,
up to
like
in life?
what do you? Yeah, what
Who
is your?
who is Ryan Sison?
What's your current occupation?
Oh, well, I am a Starbucks barista, guys. So I'm the
Yeah.
plug for all that
I'm the
stuff.
plug.
Let me know.
For
Hook
your
up for the
caffeine
low.
needs.
Exactly.
And you're going to school, right?
Yeah, I go to CSUN, ironically, right? Ironically.
I never made that connection.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Right. Oh my god, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I go to Northridge, and I am an entertainment media management major.
Oh, shit,
And-
that's a fucking mouthful.
That's
Yeah.
M&M's right there.
Entertainment media management major. Okay. Okay, so what was can you talk about the stuff that you just recently went to do?
Oh yeah, well, I got an internship last week. It's with CMA Entertainment. They are what the industry is known as a boutique management agency, which as opposed to the large scale like management agencies, like they're more small scale and they have a limited amount of clients, so they can really be personable with them. Really help them out, try to help them start
so
their
they
career.
just help them in the
They try to
field
just
itself.
book them gigs,
No
basically.
shit.
Yeah,
And you
so-
got the
Fucking dope.
internship through them.
this website called entertainmentcareers.net. Like,
no shit.
I was telling Caleb earlier, I need internships to graduate. Like, I need school credit for that.
Right.
So at this point, I was like kind of panicking on finding one. So I'm like, I should find something over the summer. So I just put my name in a bunch of stuff and just.
Okay, so I might have misunderstood something in our text then, because you said that this was going to help start off your career. You mean
No, right? Because it's experience for me, because I have zero experience in
Okay.
this field.
In
so-
your major.
Right, exactly.
I thought you meant experience, like this is going to help you get into like acting and whatnot.
Oh, I don't know if I want to act. I don't know.
Okay, so
I don't know
I did
about being in front of
misunderstand
the
that then.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that just not something that you've
It's
ever
never
cared
something
to
that's
do?
interested me. I kind of want to be the one behind the scenes pulling all the strings type of stuff.
It's
Fuck yeah,
fun.
dude.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's cool. So
right?
good for you.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
I think you have the personality type to be able to go in front of the camera or behind the camera if you wanted to.
I appreciate that. Oh yeah, did you guys see that YouTube video I was in recently?
Yes.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I remember
didn't
seeing
either,
the
but-
thumbnail and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's
Yeah,
right."
that
You were
would
only
be
in that
the way
small-
I make it on the internet.
You
though.
were
Like,
in
but
that
I
small clip, right?
I was in
that's
just
it?
a small clip because I was honestly he was a little weird. Like he was reading me out a bit, so I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go. So
Yeah.
I'll see you.
It was kind of odd.
It was really awkward. It was a really
Yeah.
awkward setting.
Yeah, because like, so how did it even go down? Like, where were you at? And like,
I was on Fairfax. I sound like such a hypebeast. I'm coming out of like the Supreme store, like
you're like, yeah, I almost got my Balenciagas dirty.
right. And then I'm walking down. I'm going back to my car. He's like, I see him. He's like, hey, you guys want to be in a video? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck it. Without even thinking, I just
You're like,
walk
yeah,
up.
yeah. It's actually I need credits from a major.
Yeah, right, exactly. I need something on my IMDb page, guys. So why not? So yeah, he tells me, yeah, you guys want to be on camera. So I was with two other people. I was with my girlfriend, Amanda, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
her brother. And then I was just the first one to just walk up to the camera. He's like, we're shooting for 420 and I'm high. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm high too. And I think that's how I made the thumbnail, because I think I was the only one
Dude,
that was
when
high
I
that
saw the
interviewed.
thumbnail, I was like, you look fucking
Oh my God.
blasted.
Oh my
I was
God.
like,
Did I really?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
And then I watch it, I'm like, he's not even that high. But just the thumbnail
he
got of
he
you-
paused it at a
Oh,
good
yeah.
moment. Damn it.
Like the perfect
Yeah,
moment.
he did.
Oh my God.
I thought I was about to see you fuck up on camera or
Oh
something,
no,
because
no.
you just look
I
gone.
never get that high.
I can't
Oh, yeah.
imagine getting that high.
No, never. That's like your first couple times. Which,
Actually, yes, I can
I was
imagine
like,
getting
I'm
that
looking
high.
at you like you can't imagine,
Yeah,
bro.
no, I've
Literally,
gotten that high
wasn't
before.
it 420?
No. I just got my very first time getting high. I was blown out of my mind, like to the point where I was thinking that nothing was real. Like I didn't know if I was alive or not.
That's fucking amazing.
I was tripping fucking balls. I felt I like. To
Was this
not
a
go
party
into-
we were at? Or is
Oh shit! I
Dude, we were
forgot
at a
about that
party
one.
and our friend was like, yo, you want to hit this? And pulled out his wax pen. But Nick thought it was just like an oil pen. He didn't think it was wax. He's like, oh, yeah, sure. And he's like,
he just rips it.
Oh, dude,
just a fat rip. And then he's sitting here and he's holding it and he's like looking at everyone like, yeah, like, and then he's,
I blew it all out, and then I started laughing, and more came out, and then I started freaking out because I was like, I didn't realize how big that hit was, and I realized after all of the smoke was out of me that he had said it was a wax pen and not like an oil pen. You know, it
yeah,
wasn't just
yeah,
like
no shit.
It wasn't just like weed and like CBD
Yeah.
oil. It was just pure fucking
Oh my
THC.
God. Yeah.
And
one
so-
hit and he was fucking
5 minutes later,
gone.
dude, it was just like I felt it in my calves, and I looked at Caleb and I said, "Oh no!" And he started laughing. He's like, "There's no fucking way." He was like, "Dalton," and he looked over at me and I just started smiling. He's like, "How did it hit you?" And I was like, "I don't know." I
He
started
was
losing.
sitting there like twiddling his thumb, shaking his leg, and he looked up at me. He's like, "Bro, I think I'm gonna go lay down in the car."
I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. He's like, why? I was like, there was a song, I forget what song it was playing, but there were certain parts that were happening in the background of the song, like background voices where they yell and whatnot.
It was Waka Flocka.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it was
it's a
fucking
party.
Yeah, he's like,
ad-libs.
it's like, and he's just fucking yelling in the background the
And so
entire
I
time.
thought I was hearing that in my head.
He's like, who the fuck
And
is
so-
that?
And it
Like,
was amplified like fucking crazy. So it was like later. It was just absolutely just amplified. So I thought it was in my head, and I remember losing
just Waka
different
Flocka in your head.
Yeah,
That's
different
a voice in your head.
different
that keeps you up
parts
at
of
night.
my night were gone. I would lose like 15 minutes at a time. It would just be, and then
You thought Dalton was teleporting around the party.
yeah, because Dalton. Sorry, I want to mute my phone really quick. Dalton showed up to sit down next to us, and when he got up to leave, I just remember him showing up again, and I was like, "You just got up and sat back down?" He's like, "No, I was gone for 15 minutes," and I was like, "Wait, what? What do you mean? Like, I don't." And then we went to a party, and on the way there, all I saw was white surrounding us. I didn't see any I didn't see the outside. It just was like we were in a white bubble. I was fucking gone, dude.
Yeah,
Gone.
it was-
So
it was
I guess twice that happened.
And that was your first time.
No, that was the second time.
Oh, second time.
That was
Okay.
that was the second time getting that high. My very first time ever getting high, period, was when I got completely blown out of my mind and thought I was going to die. And then after that was like a few times in between of just like hanging out and smoking. And then there was that night that we were just talking about.
Yeah, we've all had those experiences before.
And just want to clear up the whole
Come on.
the whole like later thing and see it as my brother leaving, just so nobody gets
Oh yeah,
confused. Because
random. Bye. See you.
yeah. But I'm glad that we can actually talk about that, because I was like, fuck, can we talk about the fact that you smoke? Like, do you
Hell
not?
yeah.
Okay, you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
How long have you been smoking?
Well, not. Fuck. I would say like pretty heavy, like the past, like I don't know. I hate to say, like probably 2-3 years, maybe.
Why do you hate to say?
That's not even
What's
that
wrong with
bad,
it?
bro.
Yeah,
That's
but,
not even that bad. Some people have been waking and baking since they're 14 for like every day
right.
straight. So
I've gotten drunk. That was the first time I got drunk when I was 14.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the Philippines, and yeah, it was all
shit.
bad.
the legal age is 11 over there. So it's
No, yeah, right. You can just
I
drink
was actually
right
going
out
to
the
ask,
womb.
like, do you know what the age is over there?
There is no age. Like you can do
Fuck.
anything over there.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No wonder you got drunk over there. I'd
No,
get drunk
yeah.
too.
My cousins, nonstop partying over there. It's crazy.
So you're Filipino?
Yeah, full. It sucks. It's boring. It's so boring, guys. Trust me.
You're
Yeah,
just
I'm just
like, you're talking to
Filipino.
white guys, bro.
Yeah, like we're like
We have the bland of the bland. You're like,
nothing
yeah, I was
here.
with my
You guys are the Wonder
cousins on
Bread,
this
right?
island and we were
Yeah.
partying and I was 14. And I'm like, my cousins live in Kansas.
we have no backgrounds. We have no like. I was actually talking to a friend about this one time. We were like, "Oh, what kind of food do we want to go get?" And she's like, I think Spanish descent. I just don't remember what. And I was like, "We can go get like Chinese food. We can go get Mexican. I mean, we can go get. I don't know, dude. Is there white people food?" And she's like, "No." And I was like, we steal everything."
I say American food. And when I say American food, I mean burgers and
Yeah, I'm
fries
thinking, like,
and hot dogs and
In-N-Out.
shit.
yeah,
Like
but I
that.
mean, even that's
But
like
yeah,
a
it has a
combination
descendants
of
from other places.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like,
even with music. Do we even have music?
well, like music, we
Where did
have.
country music come from? I mean,
That's
isn't that
that's
from
old. Like that's black.
Oh wait, you're right.
Well,
I
no, it's,
did.
oh, you mean like white people? Did white people have music?
Yeah, like what did we
Yeah, no,
actually
we got like
start?
Beethoven's
EDM.
classicals and shit. Like,
Oh yeah, classical.
I was classical.
so this is the thing. It's like music usually roots from something else. Like everything kind of has its own inspiration that it comes from.
Right.
And so I think typically once like a group of people kind of like take over a genre, you can still like pay homage to the people who started it, but like heavy metal right now, it's white people music.
It was most not really,
huh?
not really.
Not really, huh?
How?
Do you know who Kill Switch Engage is?
I love Kill Switch Engage. I used to listen to them.
The
heavy
singer's
when I was in high
black.
school.
I know, I
And
know.
that's
I
like
know
one
they
of the
have-
very like that's kind of one of the first, sort of one of the first. But I mean, like 80s hair metal, that I would say is maybe like white people, and that's kind of where it stems from.
No, but I'm saying not focusing on where it stems from. I just mean like communities of people right now.
I just was mostly getting at the joke that I don't think white people have anything. Like I really don't. We fucking steal everything. There's nothing that we originally have other than like forcing people to do things.
That's not even us originally either.
That's true. But yeah, why do you say Filipinos boring?
Oh my! I don't know. Like
You guys
people
have, like,
are
a
obsessed with our
whole-
food and stuff. Like I'm
Dude,
just so tired
you
of it.
guys
Yeah,
got some
adobo, yeah,
bomb
all that
food.
stuff. All right.
What is it? It's called lumpia.
Yeah. Oh,
Dude,
that's pretty good.
that
Not gonna
shit
lie. I can have that
smacks.
almost every day. Probably.
Dude, same. That shit
Yeah.
is fucking bomb.
Have you guys had that whole ass like roasted pig?
Dude,
thing?
I was at Audrey's
Yeah.
birthday, and they had that at the Peck Center.
Yeah.
It was that big ass pig.
I know,
huge
dude.
fucking
It's
feast.
Fucking amazing, bro. Oh my
Crazy.
god.
You know what it was? Better than a white person birthday party. Way less boring.
Oh fuck, I was gonna make a point about with food. Like I realized through like this whole wedding business stuff that I do, I don't know a lot of different backgrounds of foods and backgrounds period of like celebrations and whatnot.
Like
So they
cultures?
feed you at these weddings.
oh
That's
yeah,
all. Okay,
yeah.
that's
Like
good.
I went to this
He's just starving. You can see his
Right.
ribs.
this
Take
dope
pictures.
ass, beautifully decorated Indian wedding that was in a mansion on top of a hill.
Oh, wow.
And they had some bomb ass food that I can't remember the names of, but it was just like there were some chicken dishes. They had this certain kind of ice cream that was bomb. It's like these little dough balls that you can actually like dip in the ice cream that they give you. I don't even remember what they're called, but they're like
That
it's
sounds
almost
so
like
good.
donut holes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Dude,
That's cool.
so bomb. But what I'm getting at is I don't think off the top of my head that I've had Filipino food.
Really?
I really
Oh.
don't think so.
It's some good shit, dude.
Yeah, we got to come through to like a Filipino party one time.
I'm always down.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
speaking of parties and Filipino parties, like,
What's up?
okay, so the mixture of people that you hang out with,
It's a good mix of people. Yeah. I mean,
is there one like ethnicity that kind of, how do I say that? Like rules over the rest. Like
There's the lights you coming out. You don't know how to say it.
takes over.
right.
I didn't want to search my head for the word. That's
What's
the
the majority
majority
demographic?
The majority.
Oh, like 90% of them are Asians, Filipinos that I hang out with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in those
Nick
parties,
couldn't figure it out. He's like, all I know how to say this is who rules over everyone else in your friend group.
I'm not going to say it's the white in me. I'm just going to say it's my last name. So,
All right.
with that, like your guys' parties always, you guys go fucking ham, dude.
I mean, yeah, we something light every time. You know?
Something like
It's
that.
nothing
light,
too
bro.
crazy.
Joel parties with you guys from time to time. He tells me how you guys go, bro.
Okay, it gets a little crazy sometimes, but
No, your
I
group,
mean-
your group is fucking stellar, dude. Every time I see you guys get together, whenever like you guys are having your parties and it's posted up somewhere, I'm like, God damn, that looks fun.
shit, thanks,
That
man.
looks
'Cause-
fun.
Well, yesterday it was my friend Marvin's, his uncle. It was his birthday yesterday, and they had a big party at their house yesterday. And there's like a mechanical bull, all that stuff. So I mean, that was pretty
Fuck,
cool. I know. I mean,
Mechanical bull at the house, like they rented it.
yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You
Yeah, man.
you don't run into that.
No,
Like,
but it's not. It wasn't an Asian party though. Like, well, his uncle is black, so like,
Oh.
it was like
Oh,
it was a
Marvin.
mix. Yeah, Marvin, Audrey's brother.
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
I might.
You've
I don't
probably
know.
seen him online.
Yeah,
I
probably
posted some
somewhere.
pictures of him fucked up. or
Yeah, I
something.
remember seeing him at the party and going, "Oh, you're sticking out."
right?
But yeah, the parties pop off. I guess the one thing that kind of stood out to me, and this is gonna like completely switch up gears, is you said your girlfriend Amanda, correct? Like the last time I heard about her was like high school. I didn't even know you guys were still together.
Yeah, I mean, I keep my private life like really like low key. I mean,
that's what I
like,
thought. That's what I figured.
like people really judge what you put, which is crazy. People really judge based on what you put out there.
Yeah,
Like,
they do.
They don't know shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They go off of all they can get, and if they don't have the whole picture, then they just judge off what the
If they
part
went off
the
of
picture is.
what I put off there, like, oh my god,
Yeah,
that probably
I
seem
bet.
awful.
The other thing I wanted to stress to you was like during this is literally just a conversation. Like these are
Yeah.
things that I would genuinely be asking you without the microphones in front of us.
Right.
Like dead ass. Like there's no reason to sit here and be like, oh, so how about these things? I just want to make sure that you know that and that it's like completely comfortable in that direction because you guys have a kid together, right?
Right.
And then like I see you post up
Cute
about your
little
kid all the
motherfucker.
time, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, dude. Like I see you with your kid. I see you still. You're
fucking Landon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a picture of him like not too long ago, and I was like, he's so big.
he fucking
Like
you forget how much time passes
I only
by.
remember him as an infant.
Right?
Like a
Oh,
newborn. And so I'm seeing pictures of this kid that has like hair.
Who kind of looks like me, but white.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's trippy.
It really is. No, it is great. It is great though. Like
It's cool to see you like with your kiddo. Now hearing about Amanda because I didn't know.
Yeah.
You're doing school.
We're both in
now
school.
Got that internship.
Yeah.
You're fucking working. Like you're doing it all, dude. It's
somehow I could
Hell
not
yeah.
imagine like
Still partying.
somehow all my bullshit at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
dope. Yeah, still on your bullshit. Speaking of which, how old are you? I don't even know.
I'm 23.
See, what the fuck? I can barely handle my own life, and
I
you're
know, I
handling
get it,
like
dude.
2 other people now getting into the internship, still having all your. That's fucking
No,
sick.
it's pretty crazy.
School, work, internship, job,
Kiddo.
girlfriend, kid,
Yeah.
all that shit, man.
I'm actually just like really lucky to be in this position because like not a lot of people get the type of support I do because like
Yeah.
both her side, her family, and my family like help out, take care of Landon, and it
Oh,
really is true. Like
damn.
it does take a village to like raise a child, so it's not just us. I can't take credit for all.
I
of
like
it.
that a lot.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks, man.
It really is exciting to see that stuff. Like I always give credit to the people that I see that are just whether it's working a day job where they're just fucking hustling hard or doing something creative. Like you're doing a mixture of all of that, and it's fucking cool to see. It's cool to see. It's dope that you even have time to do this.
Thank
like,
you. Yeah.
let alone do all the other shit that you're already doing.
Yeah. I have
Do
no
you
idea.
ever feel like extremely stressed?
Oh yeah, I just try not. I probably don't show it, but yeah, I have a shit ton of gray hairs. If you guys can't see,
Really?
I've been graying since I was like 17. Yeah, yeah. So
I'll take grays over bald any day, though.
same here though. So
Yeah, so
I
you're
just have a
on the
full head
right
of hair.
path. You'll be a gray fox. It'll be sexy.
Thanks, man.
You
I'll
said
be a
since
gray
you were-
fox by like 30. So, God.
You said since you were 17.
Yeah, since like high school, man.
When
Like,
did you
I had my
have-
first? Someone pointed out one day, like, "Yo, you have like a white hair." Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. And all of a sudden, it turned to like, "Yo, you have like 3 gray hairs." And all of a sudden, that number just kept going up. I'm like, damn. There's no stopping.
What about your facial hair? Whenever
Well, I've been shaving it because like I look dumb as hell. It hasn't grown in fully yet, but
Yeah.
I am trying to get to that level one day where I can have like a beautiful beard like you
Oh,
two.
really?
You guys look like you have something going on.
Oh, I don't have
Look at that.
shit, dude.
My
What are you
shit-
talking about?
No,
I got
Nick
lucky.
Nick is the beard of the
Well,
group.
no,
like,
I got lucky that it connects, but even still, it's empty compared to like my older brothers. They're just fucking. It's like full
Like
on.
full
Like,
lumberjack.
Well, my oldest brother straight up can grow a beard in like a week, and it's a full grown beard.
See,
It looks good.
That's so nice.
I know.
Oh,
I
I'm
think-
so
I know.
jealous.
I still think though, like even through your late 20s, you're still like developing a beard.
Right?
Like I don't think that shit hits a stop until much later. Because like my dad was talking about how like it was like in his like when he hit like 29, 30 was when he like fully like got a full beard going.
Yeah, yeah. I don't doubt that it won't fill up eventually, or that it will fill up eventually. God damn it! There was the fucking point that I was gonna get at with all of that.
Ironically, our last guest, his name's Ryan. His last name starts with an S. His girlfriend, her name starts with an A.
No
and
way.
They have a kid together.
So basically, I'm just the same guest, really, right? Yeah.
Actually,
'Cause
he's
you-
like the
he said-
polar opposite of you. Like he's got like the stockier look, a full grown beard. He's got like the shaggy look to him. So
He has a
that's
daughter instead of a son.
Yeah.
Like you guys are like
Like, same
opposites.
dynamic.
Yeah, same
Crazy.
but different.
how old is Landon?
He's 4. He just turned 4 in April.
So you
So
had
Yeah.
Landon when you were 19.
Yeah.
That's
How
so
fucking
crazy.
I don't think I've ever gotten to talk to you about this because every time that we've ever hung out, which this is cool for like people to know, like how often do you guys hang out?
Whenever we see each other, it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what's up? I love you so much. We need to hang soon. And then,
And trust
then
me, I do mean it though. Like,
no, I
bro,
do
you're
too.
like one of the coolest
You're
people I
literally
know.
like a ray of sunshine wherever you
Oh
fucking
my
go.
God,
And so I'm like, I need to be
stop
around
it.
this guy more. Like,
Which is why we actually wanted to have you on because we were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fuck, dude, we don't. Well, at least I don't. But now knowing you don't as well, like we say we want to see you all the time, but we can't because it never links up that way.
Right.
And so it's like, why not just fucking have him on the podcast and we can
dude,
just have a conversation.
I was so stoked when he's like, let's get Ryan Sison on. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, please set it up.
I can't even believe when you guys asked me. I'm like, damn, what did I do to deserve? What did I do to deserve to be on here?
The whole idea of this podcast, since like, and it's also really fucking cool when people come on that don't listen to it all the time.
Yeah.
Like you've heard a couple, like you said.
Oh yeah. But who dragged me into to you guys though was Caleb Henderson.
Really?
Well, we've been high school friends. we
yeah.
grew up together.
Oh, no
he-
shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we lived in the same apartment, but yeah, I knew he was gonna tell a great story because ever since high school, man, he's had all the good stories.
Yeah.
The same
It-
apartment or same apartment complex?
Same apartment complex. Not
Okay,
the same
I thought you were about
apartment.
to say
not
like
the same
roommates because you said
Yeah.
grew up together. I was like, fuck, how close
He's like,
are you?
No, not like that.
He's like
but
me,
yeah.
Caleb.
Yeah, he
Mega
briefly
Jane.
lived. Yeah, right. right.
Oh shit.
No, but yeah, I knew he would be able to tell a good story. I'm like, damn, I gotta hear this.
Yeah,
like
his shit is.
it was amazing, man. Like,
It's fucking killer, and it's just cool to like have people on that don't actually listen to it, so that you get like a different perspective, and it can just be like hanging out
Right.
rather than we know how this whole thing goes.
Yeah.
There's a major point that I keep forgetting my points because I'm
It's because you need more beer.
well, I mean, I'll go for that. My brain is running at 1,000 miles per hour again because of the amount of shit that we have to do. Like the laptop being gone gets my brain running because I have to now run it to my room and not seeing a computer in front of me. That keeps me like on a different page while we're having this
it's
conversation.
just like a different setup than usual.
We usually have a laptop.
There's a
like,
laptop
right
here, and that's really about it. But having it in front of me, seeing like when things go wrong, if anything goes wrong, rather than like probably in 10 or 15 minutes, I'll get up to just go check that. But
Oh shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
No,
damn. Yeah. Like I said, it's crazy to be on here. Like,
Yeah.
thank you guys. Like,
oh, thank
Of
you.
course.
Thank
I'm
you
not
for
gonna
coming
lie.
on.
Like the day before, I'm like, I wonder if if I'm ever gonna be on there one day. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm
really?
like, damn, what if they're gonna ask me one day? I don't know.
Yeah.
It did cross my mind. Like, not to sound like cocky or anything.
No,
No, hell
The-
yeah.
the thing-
it's always better to just be like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna have me, than like be like, can I come on? Can I please come on? Can I be on your
Oh, I
podcast?
would,
like,
yeah, no, I would.
yeah,
never.
no, I know you
No,
wouldn't,
yeah.
but like,
Right.
there are people.
And I mean, even so, like with you, because we're friends, if you hit us up and you were just like, hey, like, I think we could have a dope ass conversation. Would you guys enjoy having me on? Like, would you mind having me come on? I'd be like, fuck yeah. It's
Yeah.
different when, and we've mentioned this in a past episode, but we got hit up once from somebody that I haven't spoken to in 8 fucking years. I wasn't even that, like 8 years ago, I was 16. So I don't know. I wasn't
hit you
good
up
friends with him.
randomly, right.
Randomly. It
and
was
he's
just
like,
like,
hey, nice podcast. Can I be on?
yeah, it was, hey, long time no talk. I want to be on a podcast. How can I do that? Huh?
Why?
Huh?
I know, but
Exactly.
no, I mean, not why would you want to be on your guys' podcast?
Right.
No,
why,
but
Why
like,
would you?
why would I have
why
him
would you
on?
go about it
Years of
like
not
that?
talking to you.
It's not
Yeah.
even like you didn't offer anything. You didn't go and say like, I have this cool story. I think it would be
Right.
dope. Like it's super simple to ask somebody to be on something. Like I have something that I think I could share and I feel like it'd be a cool conversation. If you guys would like to have me on, that'd be cool. Because sometimes we forget, dude. Like you would think by now that we would have every one of our like close group of friends on. I think we've had 2.
Yeah,
We haven't had Dylan on.
You know, that did surprise me. Like, I was expecting more to see you guys as friend
Right.
group as guests.
So it's just like
it's availability. It's like thinking like, okay, this is a good one to transition into over this one. Like, and like we eventually plan on having, everyone on.
Of
but,
course,
like,
yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, this is a good one. We'll do this one next. We'll plan this. You would think that we would be like close running out, but we have a big fucking list. Like,
yeah, it's a large list that we know that it isn't even close to filling up yet. Because, I mean, we probably have like 20 people lined up that we know that we
Really?
want on. But
yeah, and that's what if we have one person a week, that's like almost 5 months. Yeah, 5
Yeah.
months of people.
yeah,
Like
that's so fucking
Holy
crazy
shit.
to think
No,
about.
at least you guys have stuff planned. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
gonna keep
and-
going.
and,
No,
and
it's
that's
dope.
and that would be saying that like we don't think of people within those 5 months.
Yeah.
Which we'd probably think of like 5 months more of people, and next thing you know, like close to a year's worth of guests.
So it's just
And
it's
that's
totally
without
fucking random.
repeating guests.
Yeah,
Because we're planning on like at least like trying to repeat a guest or two.
yeah.
Like without like having to do a new person every single time.
for sure.
It's this weird concept of trying to figure out like, yeah, we want to keep having new people on, but sometimes we want to have a repeating guest, and then it's just like,
Like we know Caleb has more shit
oh yeah,
that he's gonna.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would-
like
dude.
our buddy Francisco has a fucking plethora of things that he could tell us. Like
yeah.
there's so many people. Like Joel, his episode wasn't even his episode; it was just him hanging out. Like,
Yeah.
which also brings me to my point of like when we have people on, I kind of want to just like have the guests. I don't know, just talk. Like,
yeah. So we're gonna shut up for 20 minutes straight.
Yeah,
and
you're just gonna go.
Oh, shit.
No, but like, I
totally
just kind
kidding.
of want to get into like different topics
but-
about you because we know each other.
Yeah.
Everybody that
Right,
listens to
right.
this knows us, and it's just like, no, this is for the guests.
Yeah, like we gotta. It's not only just like showing like off, like, you know, oh, this is someone we think's fucking dope and think like deserves a like spot on the podcast, but also like showing like how like our dynamic is with the person and like how we could have 20 whatever fucking episodes and then Ryan comes on and we're hitting topics we've never hit before.
and it's just
And
even
it's because
cool.
Ryan adds the dynamic.
And it's cool having this conversation, like we said, because it's like we don't get to have these with you,
No,
but we
right.
know that we can.
Right.
So fucking let's just sit down and just have a conversation.
Yeah, but like rewinding back to like before you guys hit me up, like I was thinking like, yeah, I mean, if they were to hit me up to be on there, like I don't know what the hell I talk about because like I suck at talking about myself. Like,
Oh, no,
I hate talking about myself. Actually,
we start to like. It's not even that we dig. We just start to ask random questions.
Right.
I
Like,
already have one.
okay.
Damn. Okay. I was didn't want to cut you
No,
off.
no, I
Okay,
literally
go now.
like please because we've been going on and on about
Yeah.
what we're gonna do, and I just want to do it already.
So, you have family in the Philippines.
Yes.
Are you like early in the lineage of your family?
I'm first gen.
First gen?
Yeah.
Your first,
Oh,
that's what I want to
shit.
know. Your first gen in the States?
So it's kind
Hell
of
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's pressure. I'm just like trying.
Are your parents like traditional?
Oh yeah, like
Oh,
they're
yeah?
pretty. I do have older parents, most definitely.
Okay, so this will lead into that.
Uh,
For the whatever fucking large demographic of white people listening who have no Filipino friends, what is your best what is your best description or like intro class to like Filipino culture? Like what are some of the things that like if they were going to the house where you're at and you guys are about to like have dinner or you have family over, like what would strike them first like impression?
I would say like if they were to walk in that door and like there's like a party or like a
Like you guys got a party going on. You
like
have
the
like
culture wise,
yeah, and like
just
how,
this shit.
how like your parents are and shit like that. Like
Well, the Filipino culture really emphasizes on like family. Like they're really similar to like the Hispanic culture, like Mexican
Oh, okay.
culture, all that stuff, and like as well as they share a lot of the same like words too.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, because
I did not know that.
the Philippines was like ruled by Spain for like a few hundred years, like back in the day.
shit.
So like a lot of the words,
Colonialism.
like, right? Exactly. So yeah, like I said, they emphasize like family. So if you were to walk into somewhere, you'd see like a bunch of food and they're heavy on karaoke.
I
Really?
was
Heavy on
actually just gonna
karaoke,
ask: is it
like-
more of like a calm get together? Or is it just like
Oh no,
kind
it's
of chaos?
far from calm.
Okay,
Like, there's no
that's-
way it could be calm.
That's what I figured because I was just like, if I know Filipino culture to the extent that I do, it's just like you said, it's family. That's the part that I did know, mixed in with just loud. It's just fucking
Literally
everyone
loud.
talking over each other
Everyone's
and
screaming
having
basically. Yeah, that's all. That's all. Have you ever been to a concert? That's pretty much how it sounds like.
The karaoke thing, is that like a tradition in Filipino culture, or is that
It's
just
not really
kind
a tradition. It's just something that they just do. It's like beer pong for us, really.
Yeah,
but they
oh,
just do
shit,
karaoke.
okay.
Yeah.
but like when I say not karaoke in particular, but singing and songs and like that kind of culture, does that fall into?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They have a bunch of traditional dances. I wish I could tell you guys more. I wish I knew more about my culture, but they do have like a lot of traditional dances that they do at like, it's called like a debut. That's their version of like a quinceañera. Like at parties, they
Yeah, that's what we went to for
exactly.
Audrey, yeah.
And that's one of the traditions. And then
And that
Yeah.
shit was huge.
Exactly. They
It
go
was
all
like,
out.
Dude,
It's-
it was like, it looked like a wedding reception.
Right.
Like it was just like tables with like all these nice like white tablecloths, and like one half was friends of the one half of like the big ass center was friends, and the other half was family, and it was just like table after table lined up with like food, big ass pig roasted
Yep.
sitting on there. They had like what I'd say like half of the time everyone was dancing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how close in relation these two are, so I'm genuinely asking. But like Vietnamese to Filipino, is that anywhere close in relation? Like,
They're both in Asia. That's about it.
but that's about
Yeah,
it.
that's
There's
about
nothing that
it.
kind of ties in.
Nothing. No.
Okay. The reason I ask is because like I'd say other than the relation of Asian, the closest thing I've ever been to like a Filipino get together would be like a Vietnamese wedding. And it's just like that culture was just fucking, dude. I remember they were screaming when the couple walked in. It was so fucking loud. It felt like my ears were tweaking out, you know, when it hits that
Oh,
certain
yeah.
pitch.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
that's how loud 300 people were inside a building. And then they straight up had like a rave. for their wedding. Like
entire
just the whole the
Flashing
building was
lights.
actually shaking because of like everybody jumping, having like it was almost like a club with fist bumping, and they're carrying around the bride and groom. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I know just like normal weddings, but then there was this.
I think typically with Americans, like Americans are very, very they know very little at all to any Asian culture, and so like a lot of the times Asian culture
That's
gets
why they
grouped
describe
up into,
everybody as Chinese. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's where
That
the
shit is-
stereotype comes
God
from.
damn it! You know me. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
guys.
you're good.
You're good.
How dare you? I don't give a, is it
No, you're
important?
chilling.
No,
though?
it's not. No, it's not
Okay,
at all.
so we also like totally forgot to dude, we got to get better at this shit. We're so
I know.
used to people coming on that like know.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like we're just like, let's get into it.
Yeah, that's also true.
I definitely
Like,
should have
it's not-
thought. I definitely should have wrote something down.
We
You're fine.
if you don't mind, we just have everybody like silence it, but because you have a kiddo and you're a lady, like check your phone if you need to. Like if it's important,
no, yeah.
get to it because
they're in
this
good
is
hands.
it's a podcast. Like
Oh, they're always in good hands. It's
Hell yeah.
fine.
that's nice to hear.
So yeah, like Americans tend to group Asian culture together because one, Asian culture has so many different like countries that it can originate from,
Yeah.
whether it be like Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese, like Thai, like all of these different ones. And people are just like, I don't fucking know. It's Asian food. It's
Exactly,
Asian culture.
yeah.
It's Asian
It gets
music.
generalized. There's just so
yeah.
much
When
variety.
people say like, "Oh, it's Asian food,"
Right.
that's so many different. You're good. That's so many different like groups of food. Like you're literally grouping them all together. I don't fucking know what I'm even eating at this point.
Yeah, and if you were to like throw, like if you were, I guarantee, like, just like how that YouTuber pulled you aside.
Oh, yeah.
If you were to go on the street and you were to ask Americans what like language they thought people in China spoke, they probably would not know that there's two different languages.
oh, right.
They would probably just be like, "Oh, it's Chinese." And be like, "Do they speak Mandarin or Cantonese?" And they'd be like, "Chinese." They have no
Right.
idea.
So
I was gonna ask like probably the same question you're gonna ask. What's
ahead.
the language of the
that's
Philippines?
really fucking weird.
I get okay. So there's like, as far as I know, there's 3 different dialects.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
My family does. They speak Tagalog.
Okay,
And there's
okay.
2 others called. See, I don't know the 2 others. They are. I'm gonna get back to you if I think about it. But yeah, like I said, there's different dialects, and
We'll
if
focus on the
someone's
one you
speaking
know.
a different dialect to me, I have no idea what the hell they're talking
It's
about.
like an entire
So-
different language.
Right.
Or is-
Yeah, it's like different words, different like phrases, different
So is it
like,
like
rules.
Is it like English to Spanish, or is it like English to like UK
As
people?
if there's like a
talking?
different version of English. Like I don't.
So, like,
probably,
if you-
like I would say it's more similar to Old English and then current English. Like that's kind of like
so you can kind
a
of get like
similar-
little bits and pieces of it.
Probably yeah, and then there's like different words and they have no idea what the hell they mean.
Can you speak any of it or no?
I can if I want to, and only in emergency situations. I will not speak it. I can.
No, I'm not gonna
I'm
put
being
you on
roasted
spot.
so hard by like my girlfriend
No.
and stuff. That shit's so funny, dude.
No, I won't put you on spot. I was just curious, like you being first generation, like how much of it you've retained.
Oh, I can understand most.
So you're
Like,
still
if
like,
I-
you're, would you consider yourself fluent?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If
Okay,
someone was
hell yeah.
speaking to me in public on it, yeah.
You'd be
I
able to
would-
keep
Are
up.
any of these it, or am I not actually looking up the right thing?
Oh yeah, Ilocano was one of them for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, and then I didn't even know there's pages and pages of different kinds. What the heck?
Because I
Yeah,
know
there's
what
probably
is it?
3
It's
like
you
main
said
ones.
it's called Tagalog, right?
Yeah,
That one I know of just because I've heard.
that's the most basic one.
Right.
That's like
Tagalog.
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 Yeah.
Tagalog.
was like,
Sorry.
yeah,
so I didn't mean to put an
Really,
asterisk
I'm
on that.
literally
It's called
reading
hide and
it.
seek?
Tagalog. It's just called hide and seek. No, but so yesterday I no, I'm not going to talk about that. So with the different weddings that I go to, I've heard so many different languages. Cambodians, do they speak anything close to Tagalog?
Nah, dude,
It's just Cambodian, or
they live in Cambodia and they
Uh-huh.
speak Cambodian. That's all I know. I know a few Cambodians.
dude, I'm so
Coolest people. Some of them, they're
like
pretty cool.
I don't know jack shit about
Yeah,
any
but
of this
as
stuff.
long as,
Real-
as long
oh my
as you
God.
don't like, as long as you don't like,
Assume that I do.
yeah, go ahead with assumptions
Yeah.
or like be disrespectful about shit. As long as you're
No.
like, I don't know.
I literally
like,
don't know. Like, I
then
wanna
you can't.
learn.
Then you can't really like go into anything like too offensively if you're just
Right.
like, oh, like do Cambodians speak Cambodian? And like someone's gonna be like, oh, I can't believe you fucking said that shit. Like
Yeah.
they speak hide and seek, and then
because there's some fucking, I forget who it is, but there's a certain country or a certain group of people that speak a language that has nothing to like Tagalog.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Filipinos speak Tagalog. That American
Filipinos.
speaking. Well, some, but what I'm getting at is like people from England speak English, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying is like sometimes Cambodians speak Cambodian.
Yeah.
So
As
when
far
I
as I
hear
know, there could
directly
be different
represents
dialects.
the
represents
country?
the country.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where I get confused with a lot of different things. And you're telling me there's 3 different dialects for Filipinos, and I'm
At
like,
least that's all I
at
know.
least, and you
Yeah.
saw all those pages, and I'm like, Jesus fuck, dude, like how many are there?
Dude,
who speaks what intertwined stuff like that?
I learned the other day that like there's a city in Spain. It's either Barcelona or Madrid, but they have their own language, and it's only spoken in.
I saw something about that.
It's like
yeah.
Catalonian or something like that, but it's only spoken in their city and their city alone, and it's like nothing like Spanish. Like if you're a Spanish speaker, you're fluent. You go into that city and they're speaking it. You don't know what the fuck they're saying.
I know.
That just blows my mind, to be
It's
honest.
fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Don't they? Isn't like Creole?
Don't look at me.
Well,
Don't look
you're
at
the one
me.
going to
Did you
weddings.
hear me say Tagalog? Like, come on now. Don't fucking look at me.
Well, isn't it in Louisiana? They have
Yeah,
like
I think so. I
they
believe
speak
so, yeah.
Creole or whatever. I don't know jack
We're gonna
shit
sound
about
so
it.
ignorant.
No,
right
yeah,
now.
we
Oh my
definitely
God.
are.
Can you fix that?
I'm so
Just-
sorry.
No, you're good. The pop filter.
There we
pull,
go.
there you go.
Okay.
Perfect. Just like that.
No, yeah, we're gonna sound so ignorant. Right
Yeah,
now.
we are, but like
Creole.
it's the only way you learn, right?
Right,
Like it's
right.
like maybe like a couple episodes down, we actually get the information, and then we actually know about Creole and all
Right.
that shit. But like, you gotta look
It's
dumb
just
a
one
little
of
before
those.
you learn.
It's one of those things where it's dope to have conversations with friends like you guys, where it's like if you fuck something up or you don't know something, you're not instantly like, how do you not fucking know? I don't fucking know,
Yeah.
dude. There's a shit ton of information in the world.
I always like, you know how like when someone will be like, one of your close friends will be like, oh, have you heard this song? And it's like one of their like very valued songs, like one of the ones that's like
Yeah.
near and dear to their heart. And you're like, no, I haven't heard it. And they're like, come on, bro, how have you not heard this song?
Like,
how have
my
you not?
fucking
and they like,
bad.
and they like try to
Like,
guilt
sorry.
trip you.
Yeah.
They try to guilt trip
Like-
you for like not hearing it. Like I always flip it on them. I'm like, how long have you been my friend? You've never shown me this song. And they're
exactly.
like, damn, bro, I'm sorry.
You know, that's a good. Next time that happens to me, I'm gonna play that game.
Yeah,
There
just
we
use
go.
that card, bro, and it flips it right on them. But fuck.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you to kind of switch back to the past conversation was what made you want to get into the field that you're in now? Like what interests you in that?
In entertainment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
When I say that field now, I'm not talking about Starbucks. I'm talking
Oh,
about
no, I
like,
get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
were you
entertainment.
always in love with being a barista?
yeah,
Did you love
I was just
coffee?
born to do it. You know, I just love coffee. No, but what got me into that was well, like I said, I was a kinesiology major. I realized I didn't want to do it. Like, and then during one summer, I believe it was in like 2016, I met up with my old friend Malik. I just told him this for the
Malik?
first time the other day.
Malik?
Gwynn, his last
no,
name.
no.
I just told him this for the first time the other day. Like, he's one of the people that kind of inspired me to like pursue that field because, like, you know, out of high
Kinesiology?
school, yeah, no,
Entertainment.
like the entertainment
okay.
business because,
Okay.
yeah, he wrote like an amazing play. And then he was telling me all about it. Like, I was seeing all the like the recognition he was getting, and like he just seemed to really like what he's doing. And like, I thought about myself in that position. Like, you know what? Entertainment would probably be something I would like to do. Like,
There's
I
much
didn't even
more
think about it.
room.
I just switched it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
There's much
like-
more room for creativity.
That's what I'm saying, right? And I don't want to be stuck with a job I don't want to
Dude.
do. Like, even if
Yeah.
it makes a shit ton of money, like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not worth-
That's why I'm not at a 4-year right now because I'm like a business major right now. But it's like, do I want to hop into debt with something I don't want to do?
Right.
And so if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it because I know I want to, rather than just
How
like.
far did you get into kinesiology before
I
you?
was, like I said, I was halfway done. So I had like a year and a half, 2 years left, maybe.
shit.
I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. So like,
Damn.
because you know, out of high school, like everyone's majoring in all these, like, oh, I'm majoring in like engineering, all these like crazy majors,
Right, right.
and like,
Yeah, like the big ones.
right, and like they ended up changing their majors later on. Like some people I know, like,
yeah.
yeah. So
Did that make you feel
And, like-
pressure to kind of choose something?
yeah, like something like safe, like quote unquote safe,
Correct.
like
Right,
Yeah.
right.
right.
Like one of the big sacred majors of like be a doctor, be a lawyer,
Exactly.
be
And,
someone
like-
who takes 12 years of schooling. Like,
Right. And my mom will still push like being a fucking doctor to me sometimes.
there
Like,
it is.
oh, I got like, she's been getting like physical therapy on like her knee or whatever. She's like, oh, I went to a physical therapist today. And she like nudges me. I'm like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. So like, don't talk to me about it.
You're like, yeah, I'm an undergrad. What do you want to know?
Yeah, right. So
I love how you said that, and Caleb's response was, there it is.
And my mom wants me to be a doctor.
right. No, yeah.
That fucking Family Guy sketch. Have you guys seen that where the parent comes into the room, like kicks open the door? And, are you a doctor yet? No, Dad, I'm 12. Talk to me when you doctor. And he slams the door.
There is some truth to those like stereotype jokes, man. It's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. I'm happy for you changing up the fact that you didn't want to do something that you knew this isn't for me, rather than sticking with it and being fucking miserable and then finding out when you're 36 and you have like 3 kids and you're like, what the fuck happened for the past 36 years of my life? Like, when did I get these kids? You know, I feel like a lot of people go on
I ask myself that now. Like, when did I get this kid? Right. Like, damn.
Holy shit.
Oh god, if people don't know, Ryan absolutely fucking loves his little dude. Like,
absolutely.
I don't need to stress that as like a safety precaution. Like, I genuinely like to talk about that because it's cool seeing how much you love.
Right.
Like, whenever you tweet about Landon, I'm just like, nice.
Like, trust me, I would tweet something every single day. Like, I would tweet about him nonstop. But like, I tend to not tweet about things that's already like given. Like, it's given that I already like see him every day, and like,
and again, it's what you put out there that they judge, right?
It's hilarious, bro. Like, people are like, oh, you're probably not together with like, oh, Amanda, or do you see Landon or at all ever? And like, yeah, I'm with him every day. Like, and people it's just hilarious.
Do you guys live together or no?
Yeah, we live at my parents' house right now, and we're obviously trying to get our own place as soon as we can. So,
but I mean,
are they making you pay rent? No, that's the fucking best, dude.
Live that fucking shit up.
You might as well just inherit that house, right? Honestly, you're already there.
No, it's really nice to actually live at your parents'. Like, goddamn, do I miss it? Because, like you said, the help with Landon, and so that you're able to have your own life. He's super close with his grandparents, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, he loves both sides of his grandparents so much.
That's fucking
and the thing
good.
Is, all right, my girlfriend's side, their family like really does a lot of like the livestock shows at the fair.
You got like the country shit.
Right. He's exposed to that.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah, exactly. Like, my family, like, they're really like indoorsy. Like, they're, I don't know, not like bougie, but like they're like really city people. So like,
you got the city folk and the country folk on both
exactly.
sides.
He gets both sides.
That's
like,
a cool
he's really
fucking
well rounded.
mix.
So like, it's
nice.
great. And like, there's videos of him. Like, I'll probably show you guys in a bit. Like, he's like walking his own like cow. He has like a baby like cow. Like, it's crazy.
Steer?
Like, yeah, exactly.
Dude,
like,
that's fucking
like, damn,
adorable.
bro, that's so cool.
I don't know.
So I'm very ignorant to the age of kids, like the progression of how like they develop. Is he talking yet?
Oh yeah, like nonstop.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Is it like
wanted him to talk.
gibberish?
Now I don't want him to. Like, can you like stop?
Is it gibberish or is it like he has full phrases and conversation down?
Oh, it's full phrases conversation.
Oh, shit.
Like, for the most part, at least. Like, we just came from like a speech therapist for him because like his teacher recommended it because like there's some words that he can't talk and there's some like sounds he can't make yet.
Yeah.
That my teacher thinks he should be able to make, or that his teacher thinks he should be able to make. But other than that, like the people that we went to, like, they said he's healthy, he's perfectly fine. So
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah,
it's really.
I mean, I don't think maybe that teacher may be overreacting, but it's that same
No,
thing.
right.
It's just
like
Keep in mind, he was
concern.
one of the youngest people in his class. He was the youngest kid in his class. If not second
okay.
youngest.
You need to
so, like,
relax. Like,
exactly.
it's not-
And it could be just like them so used to every other age there and just concerned for the kid. Like, oh, it would be a dick move for the teacher not to say anything if they felt like
exactly.
they should.
Well,
So
yeah, because like even my ex's brother was apparently like as a kid just didn't really pay attention in class, and his teacher had said like, you're never going to amount to anything. And now this dude has a killer fucking job. He is a genius, and it was just because he didn't really like pay attention in class, and like he had like speech problems, I believe. And it was just like, hey, dude, not every fucking kid's going to keep up with your speed. Relax.
Right.
Like, but I mean, if it's a genuine concern of like, okay, he may need help with some of these words. So it's like a cool
which
precaution.
is completely normal.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I mean, not like I said, not every kid's going to meet up to the normal level that people think that they should be at. He's fucking 4.
Yeah.
He's 4.
He just turned 4. guys. Come on.
Relax.
What is he in kindergarten?
Preschool right now. He's about to start his second year.
How crazy is it?
It's pretty nuts, bro. Like, I never thought. Like,
Dude.
that first day of school, like, I almost cried. Like,
Really?
like, dang, that's so crazy. Like, one of my close friends, too, he also has a kid. He just sent his kid off to preschool, too. And, like,
Same
he's like,
feeling.
yeah, I almost cried. Like, yeah, bro, like, I know. Like, I can relate to this stuff now. Like,
Oh, that's so
it's
weird.
it's crazy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you guys you won't know until, like, you have your own. Like,
Right.
it's really crazy.
That's literally what we talked about the last episode of how there's like that barrier where until you have the
you
kid,
think
it's just
you know right now.
Yeah, exactly.
but, like, dang,
Like
it's
there's
completely
a
different.
lot of like knowledge, and this is where I know know I'm not ignorant to these different subjects. It's like I have a lot of knowledge with little ones because of my nieces and nephews, but I know for a goddamn fact that it's going to be completely different when I have my own.
Right.
Like you spend the first 3 or 4 years with your dude every day, and then you have to go put him in a preschool, and you're like so proud. Like I'm assuming that's just this overwhelming
Oh my
feeling.
God, yeah.
I definitely think also on the other end it's present because like I remember being in kindergarten, like super vague, super old memory, and like I was just sitting there like thinking about my dad and just like burst into tears like in the class, like sitting at my desk like crying, and then like teachers like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I miss my dad.
Like that one little kid that got dropped off at school at the news channel, the kid where he's just
yeah.
like having a good day, he's like yeah, it just starts crying.
You miss
Just
her?
breaks down to tears. It's really insane. Like, like the parent love, man. It's pretty crazy.
I can't, like I said, like you said,
you think you
can't
just throw all
imagine.
that out the window when you have your own, man. Like, you'll rediscover everything.
I fucking bet, dude. It's like it's instinctual. It's like it's not something you have to think about. You
dude.
just feel it. It just comes naturally from
like,
you.
dang,
So
I want to give him everything.
That brings me to my next question. What did you feel? You're 18 when you found out she's pregnant?
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of like starting college, and Amanda's still in high school, and like her friends are there and all that. Like, fuck, shit. So what are we gonna do? So like, at some point, I was still hoping for like a late period, like 6 months in. Like, yeah, this is not happening. This is probably not happening anymore.
Everything
Come
you're
on, all
saying.
sevens. Right, so I'm like, damn, it's probably not happening anymore. But yeah, that was actually one of the most.
Probably not.
You see a whole baby bump. You're like,
You're like still hoping. She's giving birth. He's like, damn, come on, that period can happen any moment.
No, but yeah, I had to grow up like really quick. Like, faster than I would have imagined. Like, if it wasn't for him, I'd be stupid. Like,
you'd be making dumb
if
decisions.
I was doing the stuff I do now, then without him, I would probably be like dead.
Yeah, if you're still partying, bro.
Because he's like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. He's on his 17th beer. He's like, fuck, I got to take Landon to school in 2 hours.
I wish I could drink that much. You know how much of a lightweight I am. I texted you this before. Like, I took a Pepsid before this. Like, I'm 40 years old. Like, I'd probably be blood red right now. So definitely need that.
Oh shit! You called it the Asian glow, right?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, that shit.
Yeah, that's like the universal name for it.
Other than I've recently learned about this, I think like in the past year that people turn red when they drink. So when you said Asian glow, had I not known about that, I wouldn't have known what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, really?
Is it like an Asian thing too?
Kat used to get it all the time when we would go out. Like just straight pink, just across like right underneath her eyes and on her nose. Like
It's not even just my face. It's like my whole body gets red.
No way.
Like, I'm like, wow. I must be like allergic to alcohol or something. And to some extent.
Well, if you're calling it
like-
Asian glow, I'm assuming it happens in a lot of Asian people, right?
yeah, Kat's
Oh, yeah, it's-
Japanese.
Okay, so then it has to be something with
gotta be in, like, the
bloodline
genes
there. Yeah.
somewhere.
It's a
Yeah.
genetics thing for sure.
Yeah.
Because we have remember Ryan, the New Year's party, Ryan? His house?
Yeah.
He turns bloodshot, like just fucking red in the face whenever he takes like a shot or two, and he's red the entire night. And I think the joke is that he has Asian in him, but
That's
I don't
funny.
know if he does or not.
That's fucking funny.
But
yeah, you got to make the joke
Now
anyway.
I'm super curious about that.
Yeah,
But you
Maybe I
took
shouldn't have taken my Pepsid. You guys could see this like firsthand.
like, dude, are you all right? You okay?
No, somehow I feel fine on that. But if I break out into seizure, that's when you guys should probably freak out. No, I'm kidding.
You really are 40.
Right, no. No,
So
but no
what does
seizures
the
on my end.
Pepsid do? It just keeps the red from happening? Or?
It's just a tip my sister gave me. She's like, "Yeah,
You don't even
take
know what the
this.
fuck it does?
It stops you from turning red, and you can drink more." I'm like,
'Cause
you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do.
Pepsid sounds like it's a short name. I'm assuming you
Oh,
don't
it's just
know.
like a
It's-
Tums type thing, bro.
yeah, like Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah. But yeah,
I just love what I'm getting at is I love the fact that it's probably got a longer name, but you know it as Pepsid. And,
yeah.
And the fact that you don't really know why you take it is just the fact that your
someone
sister
just told me to take it. So
Oh yeah, so just pop it down.
yeah,
that's
right,
my
just do
point.
it.
Is it so like? Is it just like a glow you get in your skin, or is there like other things that affect you when it happens?
That's it. I just get really glowy everywhere, and like I don't know. I mean, it hits me faster than most, faster than if not all people.
No shit.
Like I'm probably gonna need to use the bathroom in a few minutes, but
Oh, you're
we'll see
good.
what's up.
You're good.
so like, how many shots do you think get you drunk?
This is embarrassing.
No, fuck, no, it's no. This is not.
Let's get me drunk.
This is not embarrassing. This is you saving money.
This is true. I'm such a cheap date.
2 to 3 beers in, and I have probably a
And the
good
best part is my
buzz.
girlfriend also a lightweight, so like
Oh fuck yeah! So you guys are
2
like
drinks
cheers
each,
and then
we're
gone.
good. Happy hour, you can only imagine.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dude!
my
leave with
goodness.
that tab of like $15, and y'all are stumbling up.
They're like, damn, they must have drank a lot. You're like, bitch, I saved a lot of money.
Like I had a sampler.
Yeah, that is actually a funny concept that people were like, oh, you're a lightweight. That sucks. No, the fuck it
You
doesn't
save
suck.
so much money.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Especially if you're out drinking. Are you kidding me? You take 2 shots and you're good.
And then it's like, oh, you're a lightweight. Okay, so you're a heavyweight, which means you drink all the fucking time. Good for you. Like, what?
Right.
What do you want? I don't understand why.
so
it's a bad
what'd you say?
thing.
You said like how many shots?
Fuck. I haven't. That's unexplored territory. I would say. I see myself blacking out anything past 5. Probably
Oh
6.
shit, you're a
I don't know.
lightweight.
Probably like big. I don't know. But then I usually like I don't know. I do like smoke weed on it.
Yeah.
Like it does.
Oh, okay, well-
it does help me out. So like I can hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it really just depends.
No, that's fine.
I,
You just sit there.
I
And you
texted
sip.
you earlier. I take hard liquor better for some reason.
The fan's on.
Oh, okay.
Can we turn that off?
Yeah, I don't care. Which one is it?
It's the It's just
the long one or the
higher
short one?
Higher
The
one.
higher one, okay.
And pull that twice.
Yes,
Sorry, I
sir.
don't mean to cut
Oh, it's
things
all
off.
good. Nah.
Like
I hope it's not
We've
picking
got-
up like the fan.
it is.
Oh yeah.
The whole
No,
time.
God, the whole time.
Nick can take it out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll figure it out. We'll see. So again, to get back to the having a kiddo, 18.
Oh,
And
yeah.
What's okay? The first thing, because I want to go back to like the very beginning when she was like, "I'm pregnant."
Okay.
No, you're not.
No, yeah.
6 months in. No, you're not.
No, literally. I was
He
like,
read
nah.
the text in the morning, goes back to sleep. I'm dreaming. It's cool.
Nah, I still feel bad to this day. I was kind of.
It's an-
It's a really hard,
Well,
like especially
well,
that young of an age, like,
Dude, okay, so you're super young. You're with
starting
a
college.
girlfriend.
Really about to
like
get my
you're-
life started,
Yeah, you're
right?
you don't know shit about the real world.
Yeah.
Still living with your folks, and it's completely unexpected, and you're not making money.
Exactly.
So, so your reaction is justified in the context. If you were a millionaire and you got your own patent, someone's pregnant, you'd be like, "Fuck this!" Like, then it's like, bro, come on.
The main point is that you had Landon and that you are Landon's dad now.
Yeah.
So
And
your
that you love
reaction
every
then
moment, yeah.
doesn't really define who you are now.
Oh, absolutely not.
So
I've-
so
You're chilling.
I've done a
it's
lot
fine,
of
you're
growing
good.
myself as well.
Oh
like,
fuck yeah, and exactly, like it gets to pay a little bit more like homage to who you are now as a person if you acted different back then.
Right.
But yeah, so initial
And, like,
reaction.
All right. Starting from when I found out when she was pregnant. From back then.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
Shit. Like I said, I was just in denial for like a long time.
I would be too, dude. I totally would be too, because I'd be like,
was
this is not what I need right
stressed
now.
the fuck out, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea.
Oh, I
And,
bet
like-
it's probably like stomach hits the ground type shit.
And like all of a sudden, like Amanda stops going, like it stopped showing up to school because she just
shit.
switched. She switched schools. Like
Oh damn, she go to
she
independent
had to
study
go
or
to
something?
independent study. So like all of a sudden, people are asking, like, wondering where she is. Like,
Yeah.
But so yeah, in the middle of that, like I have my friends asking me too, like, hey, I heard so and so. I mean, I heard she's not showing up to school from so and so. Like,
Yeah.
what happened? I'm like, fuck. Then I told my friend John was one of the first ones I told.
John?
Like, yeah, John.
Yeah,
John.
I know John. I fucking
But
love
yeah,
John.
yeah, and just went from there. Like it was just not gonna lie, I was just really depressed. That was one of like the lowest points I've ever felt personally, like,
Yeah.
emotionally. Like fuck,
Because
I
that's
had no
just
idea
like,
what to do.
You have this idea of how life's going to go, and that is a full turn.
no right,
Just
exactly.
hard turn.
But yeah, you just gotta really. I just went with it. I didn't.
Yeah, of course.
And
You
I,
got
and I
it, man.
hate to admit this. Like when he was, I never really told anyone this. It's only me and Amanda that really know. Like I wasn't the most involved like father like the first like 3 months or so. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck, dude.
Was it
I was
out
still-
of panic or was it out of decision? Like
It was out of like
Fear?
both like fear and panic. I would say.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Like
you
I
just
said,
go
I
with
was
like a knee-jerk reaction.
unbelievably stressed. Like I was
I
also
bet.
in college.
it wasn't like life's cool, kicking back, fuck having a kid. It was
No,
more
yeah.
of just like freaking out and
Yeah,
not-
and like I was the only. Of course, I didn't make it public at all. Like I felt really by myself at the time too.
Yeah, I bet.
So yeah, it was just really a matter of like accepting it. Of course, like learning how to love the kid. Well,
Yeah.
I was there, and of course in the living room, I loved him already. But
Yeah.
like, of course, like you're like shit. Like I can't believe this is real.
yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, but
Look, I can tell by the way that you're talking about this that it's like one of those uncomfortable things to talk about. And although like that did happen again,
Because this is my first time talking about it. Like I never
of course.
told anyone. I
Yeah,
don't even
dude.
think my close group of friends know.
But I feel like
that's what happens with these podcasts, bro. Like
We
you
break
sit here,
barriers
the
here,
mic's
guys.
gone now. You don't even notice the mic's
Right.
there, and it just starts flowing. Like you just start like oh fuck. You'd be surprised the amount of times out of our guests we've heard, fuck, I've never told anybody this, and they
Yeah,
start talking
yeah.
about it. Like so, dude. It's just the fucking
almost like
atmosphere.
it's like a therapy session of just like it
Honestly,
fucking cracks
low-key.
open.
honestly, guys, it feels great. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad.
No, but
But what I was getting at is like I feel like that's a reaction that a lot of people don't talk about because everybody
Right.
thinks it's
They're, like,
shameful.
ashamed of it, yeah.
And it's just like, oh, I didn't know how to react in that moment, so I was fucking freaking out, and I wasn't like the greatest dad in the first. It's like you don't know what the fuck, especially if it wasn't planned, and you're 18 and you're just starting your life, and she's in high school, and you're like
Yeah.
all these different things, and you're like, now I feel like I fucked up. Maybe my parents are pissed off. Now is my life going to come to a screeching halt?
Yeah, fuck
So-
are you supposed to do? Heel click and skip off into the sunset?
Right.
No, right.
Like you're not
Exactly.
happy about something you didn't plan to happen that's literally going to change your entire life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were, what would make you a shitty person? If you were still like, nah, fuck that kid. Like, if you were still like, oh yeah, I regret it still. Like, to
Like
this
straight
day.
up, if he was 4 and we were talking right
I'd-
now, and you're just like,
lock
yeah, I
me
mean, I
up,
see him like
please.
once
God,
a week, for an
Yeah.
hour. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. What are
Yeah.
you doing? I'm gonna spend 2 or 3 hours here just hanging out with you guys. Nah, but you're not, and that's the point. And so, like talking about this, although it feels weird saying it for the first time, understand that that's not what you're doing now.
oh, absolutely,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a matter of growing into it. Like he's taught me a lot. Like
Oh, I can only
it's
imagine.
crazy.
man.
Like patience, all that stuff. And I have to give big credit to Amanda as well for like I left her alone. I'm an asshole for that. Like she was the only one taking care of him for like a while.
Damn.
Like the first few months, but then I came around again, and then
That's good. That's
we just
fucking
grew from
dope.
there. Like
Yeah.
it's not easy still to this day by any stretch of the imagination, probably, but like
Yeah.
we do have like a routine going on, I guess.
Fuck
Like,
yeah.
we have shit down right now.
That's
So,
good. That dude, you don't
Yeah.
hear people say that often.
Yeah.
It's never, we have shit down now.
Yeah.
It's just like shit's hitting the fan. every fucking day.
It's terrible.
Yeah, so that's
I might put a
fucking
toaster
great.
in the bathtub later. Right, God. God.
It's cool to hear that because not only with like you don't hear that often, but you especially don't hear it with people our age.
No, absolutely.
Like
yeah.
people barely have their own lives together, and you're holding together yours, hers, and Landon's. And I feel like that's something that's going to change over the course of time, and I feel like it's going to start with like our generation, our age group, of just like knowing that you got to step the fuck up for the most part. I'd say for the most part, like
From people we encounter, yeah.
yes.
I have no idea how other people are in other cities, other sides of our city, other states.
I just what I see is a lot of people saying like this. I was raised in an environment that was bad, and I don't want it to be that way. And then I also see people that say I was raised in a good environment, and I want it to stay that way. But you don't necessarily hear a lot about like I had a bad childhood, so I'm gonna treat my kids the same way.
Which I don't know how that works. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cases like that, and
Yeah.
I just can't imagine.
I don't think it's
I don't get it.
conscious.
You always want better for your kid.
I don't.
Like,
I don't think that like because you're like your childhood was shitty that you're like gonna purposely go out of your way to inflict even more. I think most of the time it's like a subconscious mechanism, kind of like how bullies are the ones who usually are bullied. They're not going out there because they're like, I'm gonna hit you the same exact way my dad hits me. They're going out there and they're like, I don't know why I feel this way, but I'm pissed at you for some reason.
Right.
And I'm
no,
gonna
and
lash
I totally
out.
understand your point on that, but
That's why I'm like, I don't think they're like consciously like making like executive decisions to do
I
this.
feel
whole
like
thing.
subconsciously they're giving into
Yeah, there's-
their weaknesses,
exactly.
and that's where it's consciously having a weak mind. And
Right.
that's what I will always stand by, because it's just like you have the conscious decision to be a shitty person, even if you have subconscious things that are causing it. Like, dude, everybody has bad impulses. Not everybody acts on them.
Yeah, but I think some
Right.
people's are way stronger than most. Like I think
But if you see that you're inflicting pain on someone or causing, any type of discomfort to someone, you have to consciously see that happening and know that there's a, I guess
it depends on how your mind frames it. That's the thing.
I guess that's fair.
Like
I
guess that's
my
fair.
bad urges of a like regular dude who grew up with both parents together in a nice household are nothing compared to like an abused orphan's urges when they're an adult. Like they have a whole different fucked up mind, and they could be doing something to someone that literally is hurting them and feels good to them.
And doesn't
only can they
recognize.
realize through later growth, maybe through therapy or medication, that, oh shit, this is way, way more fucked up than my like facade let me see. And so that's why I'm so cautious to like call people weak on that shit, just because it's like, dude, I cannot confidently stand here and say that if I was going through the same exact shit you had the same exact upbringing, went through the same exact trauma, that I would be some much better person and act differently. I don't want to sit here confidently and act like I would be.
Right as I say, like that's something that I'd always stand by. I started kind of really like thinking about it in depth of just like certain decisions that I've made where it's just like, wait, I didn't mean to do, but that, I guess, I don't know.
So
it's
that's
one
how
of
it
these,
works. And it's just some people have a way deeper abyss than we do, and so their actions can go way more fucked up than ours can.
That makes it sound. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
yeah.
And
So
so like
that's something I'd have to really think on even more.
I think like people preach the idea of like, oh, well, you have free will to do this and you have free will to do that. But it's like, if you go through PTSD and you have like these like deep rooted problems, if you walk past your site of where your car crash was that gave you PTSD, you don't have free will to not have a negative reaction to it. That's just how it is. And so there are so many things that act upon us we are not in control of.
Right.
And that's why I very seldomly point a finger, because I have to step back and go, fuck, dude, if I went through what you went through, I have no idea what you went through. And if I was in your exact shoes, like, who am I to say that I would be better than you?
Right. But at what point do you learn lessons? Do you consciously allow lessons to be learned where it's just like, the only thing I can really use as an example is like the shit that I saw when I was a kid. Like, I don't go and do that to people just because I saw it and it was like subconsciously fucking me up. Like, I've known since a young age to not do those things.
Yeah, and maybe you received it differently.
So that's what I guess that's what I'm saying is it's weird. Like, I don't really even know how to put it into.
It's a lot of
words.
factors. I think it's definitely how they grew up, like their psychology, essentially. Right?
Yeah. Like some people's genetics literally are hardwired to be more logical. Some people are literally hardwired to be way more emotional and act upon impulse. And if you're just like hardwired more logically and you get put through the situation and you come out with a moral lesson from it, but they come out with a bad habit that and it wasn't in their control, then like, you know, it's not as much their fault as,
I guess it's that whole case per case thing.
Yeah, it's nature versus nurture. It's not 100% nurture, and so
and I also, like you said, it having to do with their psychology as well, of how their brain functions versus how some others do. So, fair point. Fuck me. Back to you with when you were going through that with Landon, that whole like little bit of time or however much time it was where you said you weren't around that much. Were you and Amanda together?
We weren't officially broken up. Like that was definitely one of our rough patches.
It was like a hiatus
for sure. Yeah, right. I don't know. I was still there. I was still dropping off stuff. Only dropping off stuff. Like I was only.
Was that more or less because your guys' dynamic was off?
As in, like in our relationship.
Yeah, you like your relationship itself.
Of course, like
because I would figure like if you guys were like good and it was just the kid, you would still be there. You would just like have your own personal trials with it. But like regardless to whether or not you have a kid or not, couples go through rough patches.
Exactly.
And so if that's going to affect it, it's just bad timing that it affected it while you had a kid.
No, absolutely, yeah.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. So wait. What was the point before that? I'm so sorry.
So like just like you were going through shit, but was it just because you were going through shit in your relationship? Not as much was it about. It was Landon? A little. Even if the problems were like from the idea of a pregnancy or whatever, it's just your guys' dynamic.
It was a little bit of both. Like it was also me. Like in a way, I was kind of like resentful in a way. Like I was putting the blame on her essentially. I totally feel bad about it.
You're a big man for admitting it, so don't feel bad about it.
Absolutely, dude. Like
again.
I'm the asshole here, like most definitely, 100%. Like she deserves all the praise in the world, but yeah, I think it was just me being immature. Like really, like
That was one of the words I was going to bring up. If that's kind of what played into it, was just like immaturity, like you said, the freaking out and the resentment, and then just your whole life changing in a matter of.
And I was doing all I could to like stop everything from happening, which essentially trying to control things I can't control.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And just learning that. So
it's like trying to steer a roller coaster.
Exactly. So if it gets stuck, like it's that roller coaster's stuck.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep it going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want it to turn left. You're turning the wheel left, and it just goes right.
Yeah.
It doesn't give a fuck what you're doing.
Exactly. So, like, you got to roll with the punches, man.
And
like,
then as what made you flip the switch, or slowly like fall back into it?
I think it stems from like, I also haven't said this to much people. Like my relationship with my dad growing up, like it was very like strained. Like he was there, but like it wasn't really like nurturing at all. Like
it was kind of distant.
It was very distant,
like a disconnect.
So, like put a house over your head, put food in your belly.
No, exactly. That's all. Like that's it. He wouldn't be at like my award ceremonies, none of that stuff.
Okay.
I mean, he would be he went to a few, but like not like the really big ones. He wouldn't even come to any like my basketball games when I used to play. But like, right.
So it's one of those things where it's like
I don't want that for my son.
Hell
like,
yeah, that's such a good lesson to pull out of it.
And that is literally what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That is my point, is that like you saw that, and rather than letting that affect you, it affected you for that small point, and then you turned it around.
Yeah, exactly. Like that stems from how I grew up. Like, my psychology.
So was it like friends talking to you? Was it just you?
It was just me. Like
just your own meditations on it.
Exactly.
See, and that's that psychology. I guess everybody's
you do need that
different.
time to yourself to like just really. You can't get other people's opinions on everything. Like,
yeah, exactly.
To,
sometimes it just comes from within, man. You
exactly.
got that own epiphany.
Good on you.
And at the time, like, not gonna lie, like I had no friends at the time. Like everyone, like first stopped talking to me for a while. They stopped talking to me for a while. Like. And like, and not gonna lie, I'm still like mad at some of them for it. Like I haven't forgotten who did that to me back then.
Yeah, you have your list.
Oh yeah, but it's whatever, man. I'm like, I'll brush it off for now.
Keeps a little book with him with names written in it.
Exactly. No, but yeah.
So okay, so I don't know if you want to talk about the amount of time it took you to come back to that, where it was just like, I want to be part of his life, but.
You said a few months though.
Yeah.
It was like, I would say 3 to 6 months at least.
Somewhere in there, and then it was like,
and it could be worse, man.
No, I know. Worse. Like at least I came. At least I came.
Oh yeah, fuck
came
yeah,
around.
Dude.
Like
no, good for you.
Even though like you have your like errors and you have your areas where like you fucked up. Like I still think Landon has like a fucking great dad. I think it's great that you came around because like dude. Like if I had you as a dad, dude, fucking lottery ticket.
I would
like
love
right
to
there,
have you
like
as my son. What do you mean?
This is how mine and Ryan's relationship is.
We can go play catch after this. All right, let's go.
You want to come to my basketball game?
Oh, absolutely. Come on.
Oh shit! We look back a year from now. This is the day you got adopted. So when you slowly started to transition into like being around more, was it just you showing up more and her accepting that? Did you guys have a talk? Like,
oh wait, we had our talks for sure. She always like tried to get me up to come around. Like I was just an asshole. I'd just do my own thing. I'd be out doing stupid stuff. But like I said earlier, I do feel bad to this day. Like nothing I do now will make up for like what I did to her and like not being involved back then. So
right, but it's the whole like forgiving and moving on.
Exactly,
point of it.
And it's then like becoming better from that situation.
Yeah, because if you
on now and what's to come.
Exactly,
it's like you don't have to forget it. Because that reminds you to not do that again.
Right.
But you do have to forgive it at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
And
there's
just
got to be some grace.
And it's just like what you do now. Like it's not that you have to make up for it every single day. It's just that's who you are now. Like who you are now is Landon's dad that's around. So it's dope to see. And that's why we give you the credit that we give you. Like,
thanks, guys.
Yeah, during that time, had we known all of that, we probably been like, what the fuck are you doing? But now it's like, good for you. Like genuinely good for you.
Yeah. And I kind of, now that you say that, I could probably see it from my friend's perspective back then. Like what the fuck are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. But then I mean, they did come around.
There's a difference, and this is what I've learned a lot, not only on my own, but a lot from Caleb too, of just like, we had a situation once that someone had acted a certain way that I didn't like toward someone else, and I was like, person A to person B, the person A was treating person B like shit. And I was like, fuck person A. And Caleb was like, no, ask person A why they're doing it and figure it out and talk them through it and get them to open up about it. And that's how you get them to change.
Because even person B wasn't like, fuck person A. And they were the one receiving said treatment.
Right. So it was just like in that case, that's where I would say there's two different types of people. I would probably be like the friends that you had where it would have just been like, I'm not going to stick around for that. Sorry. Like I don't want to deal with somebody that can't be there for, their kid.
Right.
Versus Caleb would stick around and help you through it, which now being who I am now, I'd probably do what Caleb does because I felt like that was a more valuable lesson. So
you had a, and I don't know, like honestly, haven't seen you been put in a position to test it yet. But from what I knew, you had like a habit of seeing a negative quality in a person and then going and just cutting them off right then and there and be like, nope, not gonna have it around, not gonna be there. And I think like the proper way of going about it is like weighing out like what's my past with this person? Are they worth the effort, the time to like stick around and see what this is rooted in? Like if I spend my time on this person, like is this going to blossom into like an even better relationship than we had before? And from my past experience, most of the time it does. And that's why it was like an easy decision for me. Like if I see a friend acting out in a way where I'm like, I don't like that, then I pull them aside. I'm like, dude, like let's talk about this. Where's your head at? Like, is this coming from something deep, or are you just being like you just like being in the spotlight or whatever for anything? And that's like what I wanted to like instill in Nick was like, just because someone does something that is like, seen as bad, doesn't mean that, you need to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No, right. Exactly.
And granted, I mean, God damn it with this fucking thing. Granted, you probably had friends that were just like, oh, he has a kid now, fuck that. Versus some of the kids or some of the
friends were when my friends were like, yo, what the fuck? And like, stop talking to me. That was not even when he was born. It's because I got someone pregnant. Like,
oh, okay,
it was like
then fuck that.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
Okay,
right,
that's
it was
different.
Fucked up,
that's
right?
completely different. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Like, oh, your life changed, and it's not something we approve of.
And I was like alone at the time. Like, I felt so like by myself at the time. Like, it was fucking terrible. But
it's weird. It's one of those things where it's just like, fuck, dude. Had we known any of that shit, like,
I was thinking that in my head. I was like, fuck, I wish I was your friend back then. I would have been there.
Because like, it's. People don't talk about this shit. And I hope that like through this podcast, through having these conversations with people and then like it just constantly bleeding out and then like the small community that so far we already have like we said, the average is now 95 people listen to this, which is dope. But that is like a community of people communicating with one another. Everybody that comes on here, everyone has gotten messaged. For the most part, I wouldn't say everyone. I would say almost everyone has gotten messaged
depending on their story.
Correct. And it's building that community so people can actually talk about the things that they want to talk about. Our friend Alex, she was on here talking about the things that she went through with her boyfriend Ryan.
Your clone's girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Your anti-clone.
I was there.
So Ryan and Alex had like a very they had a very like really rough patch with each other. And when Alex had voiced that whole thing, a couple people actually reached out to her and were like, I feel comfortable talking about this now, and it feels like something that I don't feel so alone on. And it's just like you sharing this, it's like, although obviously you can't do anything about 4 years ago, but it's just like if anybody's going through that now, it's like you went through that. And if they're going through that same thing right now and they hear this, they're like, oh shit, maybe I actually have someone I can talk to.
Dude,
right.
With this thing, like this cool little thing we're doing, you have these like nuggets that you just like kind of pass out from like past experience, whether you fucked up and earned your nugget or you've just learned it through like the good times. Regardless, you'll say some things on here and you'll think like, oh, like, points 1, 2, and 3 were really the points that I think were my strong points that I really think people would get a lot out of. And then someone will hit you up and they'll bring up this point that you didn't even consider. And they're like, that shit resonated with me. So it'll be crazy. You'll sit here and you'll talk about like, whatever it comes to with like your kid or with your past and everything like that. And then someone can be like, oh, like, you know, you really made me feel like I can embrace my Filipino culture more. And you'd be like, shit, I didn't even think about that.
I need to embrace my own culture.
Like,
man.
yeah,
Like,
and be like, I didn't even think about that. And that's the thing, like, you're thinking about yourself when you're talking, but when other people are listening, they're taking in shit that applies to them. And there could be shit that's so minor to you that hits them like a truck, and you wouldn't even consider it. And so it's cool. Like, you have people who, like Nick said, the whole community thing, like, people become friends with one another, just whether they're listeners or they're guests or they're both, because like they just get to feel like you're getting to know a shit ton of different people.
right. I think it's a beautiful thing what you guys have put together. Like I said, it gets conversations started and conversations that need to happen.
They
Like
really do
everyone
need to
goes through
happen.
shit. Like it's not
Exactly.
You're not the only one. It's not the end of the world.
It's
Like
cool.
trust me, I would have never thought like 4 years ago I would be here talking to you guys about this. Like
Yeah,
I
man,
never thought.
seriously.
Like, it's
Right,
crazy.
like 4 years ago, Ryan was like, I'm alone, don't have friends. And now it's like,
bro, I was depressed, bro. Like that shit.
I can fucking.
That's an
and
understatement.
now
like,
it's crazy because you're flourishing now.
yeah,
yeah,
bro.
exactly.
And like I
what-
said, you're a ray of fucking sunshine.
shit. Thanks, man.
What I always explain to people, and it's one of my favorite things, is information that's old to you, right? Something that happened to you 4 years ago is now 10 seconds new to that somebody listening.
Right.
They just heard about it, right? And it's like, let's say somebody's in the exact situation you're going through. It's like, oh, fuck, I'm having a kid soon. Or people who even had a kid that still aren't dealing with it properly.
Yeah, man. There's probably, like how you said, you didn't tell anyone, right? Like, or you told only a select few, but you didn't tell a lot of people.
No, not
There's
at all.
probably someone out there who's like has a pregnant girlfriend that we don't know.
Oh, I
that,
know.
Like, that hasn't told
Hey, I'm here
anyone,
for you.
and they're like,
you just slide in my DMs, bro. I got you.
yeah, they're probably going through it, dude.
We'll plug them in at the end. But it's the fact that, like, 4 years ago, you said you were depressed, nobody around for you, you didn't know what the fuck to do with your life, and now you're flourishing, you're fucking killing it, you're close with your family, your kiddo with Amanda, you're getting your career started, you're going to school, you're working a job, you're fucking
Hell yeah.
Shit, guys. I thank you guys.
and it's what people are hearing through this story is what we're at an hour and 15 minutes. So in the past, like, let's just call it hour, they have learned information about you in the past 4 years in an hour, and it's applying to helping them.
That's great. Wow.
It's
I feel like I'm
it's a
helping people
cool
now. Thank
fucking
God.
concept.
Yeah,
Time travel.
I'm happy
It's
I'm
like
on here.
we're the battle against Instagram, and I'm not saying that as like but Instagram makes everything seem happy.
Exactly.
Everything
Social
seems
media is so fake.
It's
I'm like,
super
it's
fucking
so
fake.
Yeah,
You can
I
put
could
whatever.
talk about that shit for hours,
Oh man,
bro.
Oh man.
We could make this fucking sound good if we cut it, but we don't.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't. You have to have the raw, like, life. Like, you have to, and it's exactly.
That's why people like this shit. It's why people are willing to sit down and listen to this shit
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
You can't put a filter on this conversation. You
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
And,
it's-
and because it's so much more real than, like Nick said, than Instagram. Instagram is like my life is great. It's always been great. I'm always better than you,
Still
and
going
always
great.
will be.
Dude,
Like,
how many of those fucking couples do you see out there that are doing wonderfully that you see?
that you know,
And their
I know
relationship
the
is
truth.
fucking.
You guys are completely
yeah,
bullshitting.
dude, like someone will
He
post
just
up.
cheated on you like the other day.
I was gonna say, like, bro, like you know, she's like, oh, I love my boo, and I'm like, you fucked my homie last week. Like, I know all your dirt.
And it's just like it's all this fake shit, and then
Exactly.
you can tune into this and hear, and that's why, like, I wanted to stress the point, and this is what I want to stress the point with, like, having guests on, period, of just like, we want to talk about you and not dig fucking dirt. It's just, we want to talk about you, whatever you want to talk about. And Landon, because it's the most, like, thing, or he is the thing that you talk about most that I see. It's like, I want to talk about Landon because it's a big part of your life. And then you're like, I haven't talked about this part. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I
man.
wouldn't have known that.
No, I'm not gonna lie. It was great to like actually like tell people about this.
Yeah,
It
like,
probably feels like a little bit like a weight lifted off the shoulders.
No,
that
absolutely.
you didn't even
Yeah.
know was there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, and I'm able, like you guys said, I'm able to help. Hopefully, people like can learn from
Yeah.
what I just said. Like help
Yeah,
them out in
dude.
a way.
I have a question. Like, how was the whole birth process?
That shit was traumatizing. Holy shit! Oh my god!
That's not what I was expecting.
Oh, dude, I haven't heard
I
like
got
a
two
happy
words for you guys.
story.
Don't look. Like
Don't
that's,
look?
That's my only 2 words of a.
What is it,
my
Bird
God.
Box?
No, like exactly. Put the blindfold over your eyes. Like holy shit! Like the the doctor even asked like, "Oh, do you need to sit down?" Like, I'm like,
Dude,
yeah, I think so. I'm gonna.
It's like the opposite of Asian glow.
No, exactly. I was
Where-
just pale, bro.
Where'd Ryan go? Who's this white dude? I was just like, oh god.
No, but yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that birth process, man, is insane. But like I said, like life in front of your fucking eyes, like just happening.
Dude, I can't fucking imagine. Was it like a trip to like hear like your kid like cry for the first time, or like just see like this living
It's freaking me
being?
the fuck out. Like, what do you mean? Like, chills down my spine type shit, bro. No, but yeah, there's nothing like holding your kid for the first time. Like, literally, like,
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
like I can't. Like, I love this kid for some reason. I think I like this kid. Like, for some reason.
That's okay. That is a universal thing that I hear with parents.
No, it's totally true, bro.
It's like the second you hold your kid, you're like, I'm in love with them. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but like I
Yeah.
love this little thing with
Yeah.
all of my heart, like every ounce of my being.
And keep in mind, the time I was uninvolved, like I still loved him. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't
Yeah.
know how I didn't
you
know
were-
what
what
to
you
do.
were gonna fucking do.
exactly. So
It's such a different fucking like like path or like whole mindset or like thought process that guys have to go through compared to what girls have to go through when it comes to
Exactly,
pregnancy.
yeah.
Like
We ain't gotta do
girls,
shit.
like no, I'm talking. Of course, no, it's totally different. But like girls have this entire idea of like I have to go through pregnancy, I have to go through labor and birth, I have to like feed this kid and be here like next to it like 24/7 and everything. And like no matter what happens, like even if the couple breaks up, like the like woman is still like literally physically connected to the kid. That's gonna be there
I think
forever.
I've heard a lot about postpartum depression. Like
Yeah.
that shit's crazy. It's real.
And,
Like,
and with the guy, it's an entirely different like war going on in your head.
absolutely.
It's more or less like you're separated from the entire event. It's your girlfriend and the kid going through it, and you're just there, and you're like, what do I do? What am I gonna go through? Like, how am I gonna like compete with, or not even compete, but like live up to what the mother has to do?
No, right.
And like, what's my role here?
it's
And-
all about it's a matter of finding that role. Like,
yeah, and so dude, like I can't imagine like that's what I would imagine was going through your head when you were going through it, where you were just like the fuck am I gonna do? Because like at least the woman's like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I have my kid. I'm gonna be with my kid, and this is like regardless to whether or not like my man stays or not, like this is what I'm gonna do. But the dude, even if he does stay, is like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
It's go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna say it's all about like building off of like what she wants to do. Like,
Yeah.
the guy's just there to support. Like,
Exactly.
honestly.
That's all you are, is support.
Yeah.
You're like, you're the backup.
Exactly.
The
We're
fucking,
the bench players. Mom's a starter.
Right, and that's mom's a starter. It's crazy because like they're physically connected to the kid,
No,
even
yeah.
after birth,
Yeah.
because it's like breastfeeding and whatnot, and then even after that, it's just like you were literally created in your mom's like belly area, like
belly area.
well, because you can't say
Somewhere
in your
down
stomach.
there.
You can't say in the stomach, like it's
Yeah.
not, but like fucking, it's literally like born there,
Yeah.
born through the mom. So it's like, yeah,
went from
that
one
whole,
cell to many.
Exactly.
to this living, breathing, eating. Now at 4 years old, probably talking back a little
Oh, it
bit,
blows my mind every day. Oh yeah, he's.
and that's so fucking
Me
crazy.
and his mom telling him he's an asshole sometimes. He has his moments. Like, all right, you're talking back today. All right.
Here, how about this? One day, if you remember, you can show this to Landon when he's like
Oh, I will.
an adult. So
Right.
what's your message to your future kid when he's like a teenager or an adult? Like, what would you say to him?
I don't
like
even
your-
have that advice for myself because I don't even feel like I'm grown up
Not,
yet either.
not even advice. Just be like, "Hey, fuck you!" Like I
Oh,
know you're
you
doing
know,
some
yeah,
shit.
Land,
Like, what would you say to Landon now that he's like grown up? Since this is like a time capsule.
If he's listening to this like 15 years from now,
Here, let's what are you saying to 15-year-old Landon?
you're fucking welcome.
What
That's
are you,
it.
What are you
Like,
saying? What are you saying to 18-year-old Landon?
Yeah, so like high school Landon, he's like he's going through it. He's getting with girls. Like he's like doing sports if he wants to do sports. Like what are you saying? Like
Oh, it's all about whatever he wants to do. Like I'm here. Like I don't care what he does. I just want him to be happy. I want him to be just I don't know, just because I didn't have that thing growing up. Like my parents didn't put me in a lot of sports or all that, and like we weren't really close, really. And I have zero family around me, so like I just want to surround him
With love.
with like exactly just love, really, and like just really, like I said, providing him more than what I had at his age. Like, giving him better than what I had.
God damn, it's beautiful to hear these things, dude. It gets me so like warm inside, just like because.
And his belly area.
Yeah, and that belly area down there. Right in the belly area.
No, but it makes me happy because like as you start to say it, like your face, like you get serious when you're saying it. Like you can hear how when you're talking about it, like you're dead serious, and there's just love following behind it.
Yeah, you're taking 15-year-old Landon right now, and you're like, sit down, little shit. I'm talking about you in this. You need to
listen to this fucking podcast right here.
No, that's good. What was the question that you were asking before?
Just talking about like the role that the father plays, like because you were like, because that was the whole thing, was like from the birth process onward, like it goes from a pregnancy to
it's a whole other ballgame. You think it's over? Oh man,
no, it's only just starting. Yeah, it's the first inning, bitch.
Exactly.
Fuck, there was a goddamn it with these fucking my mind running, dude.
You have to like look behind you on the wall and check the floor for all the points you were gonna make. So yeah, like you have like your kid out in the real world now. Sorry, go for it.
I want to. I
do
just
it. Hop in, please.
Yeah.
Finally get a point in.
I see the ON and I'm like, oh shit, is that really? Like, I want to know if my assumption's right. Do you have Landon and blocks tattooed on your arm?
Yeah. I mean, I got it when I was 18. Dude. Like, honestly, if I could change it, I'd probably get something a little more subtle. But let me it's a little obnoxious.
It's still
cute. It's cute. Okay, that's so I saw you.
That
like,
shows your commitment right at the beginning.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck was I looking at when you guys were talking? And then I remembered because he had his arm above his head or something. You had it turned, and I see this ON, and they're like little blocks, like kids like with blocks with the letters on them. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. And I was like, that's so fucking cute, dude.
Yeah, first tattoo when I was 18. Yeah, I'm trying to be covered like you one day, man.
It's paused. It's paused for a while.
It's paused.
Yeah.
Damn,
it's expensive.
Oh, it is, dude.
It's
Trust me.
Stupid expensive.
It's not worth it. Free tattoo is bad news, guys. Anything cheap is bad news.
Yeah,
tattoo wise.
Yeah,
it's fucking terrible.
My guy that I used to go to back in the day. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Eli. So he used to give me super, super discounted tattoos, but with his work, he likes traditional lining. And it was just like after like 2 or 3 years, I was just like, it's not my thing anymore. Like it was for a little while. To which he's still upset anytime I talk to him. He calls me a traitor. But
it's like a barber, bro.
He doesn't he's not like hating me or anything, but he definitely like he holds true to that because we got close and he was tattooing me all the time.
Was that the one you were shooting stuff for?
No, that is the guy that's out here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Da Vinci. We were working together for a little bit and then I don't know, it just stopped. Like he just stopped hitting me up. It was really random.
Damn.
Yeah, like I literally don't know what happened.
Break out with your tattoo artist.
Well, and then it was fucking
imagine.
sucks.
We're so strong
like,
for being here today talking about it.
Didn't put a toaster in the bathtub.
I was like, oh, dope. We got this thing going. I'm getting these tattoos. He's getting these videos. And then it stopped. And then like one day, like months later after he had like completely ghosted me, I was like, just on Instagram and scrolling through and it was like looking for a photographer, videographer. And I'm like,
I know somebody.
What happened? Me? What happened?
You're like me and you take a picture of a like blank spot on your arm.
But no, he's a good dude. I don't know what the fuck happened. Eventually I'll talk to him about it. But yeah, I eventually want to get completely covered.
Oh, same here, bro.
Yeah.
What about you, Caleb?
Oh, dude, I do.
Very good.
Yeah, I want to have the type of tattoo where it looks dope as fuck and then also has like that like super awesome meaning behind it. Cause I know some people like care more about meaning first than like the image itself, and other people are reversed where it's like they care like as long as it looks cool.
Right.
And I love like things that are like super complex and have like a lot of like interpretation and shit like that. If you've ever read any like poetry of anything I've written, it's like I have to sit down and explain every fucking line because everything is so interconnected. And so that's how I want
like
to
genius,
go about
like breaking down to the lyrics.
Yeah, like Genius breaking down the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like every line would have like be lit up green that you have to click on. And that's like how I feel about when I want to get tattoos. I actually have also, and I haven't actually talked about this out loud at all because it's
my gosh.
because it's something that's I've never said this to anybody before. I've actually been like, it's been marinating in my head for like about a week now, but I think I figured out what I want my first tattoo to be. And it's so stupid and dumb and like a small tattoo.
You're just talking about meaningful stuff.
Oh,
and
no,
you're just
so
like,
dumb.
I want my
read it all.
I want my first one to kind of be a little dumb, but I want to get like, whether it's like on some small random part of me, but like a little bathtub tattooed on me just for tub.
yeah.
Oh, you have to,
Dude,
that's
wouldn't
not
it be
dumb.
so good?
That's not
Fuck it
dumb.
up,
It's
dude.
the first
That's
time
great.
I've ever like even spoke it into existence, but like that is, I think, what I want to do for my first one is just like a little tub
That's not dumb.
tattoo.
Can I ask you how they got that name? Because like
Oh,
people,
dude.
that's you're known on the streets as K-Tab, bro. Like that's
It was have I
Yeah.
said that
a
on
little
here
bit.
before?
Actually, I think in full detail, but yeah.
Yeah, my little
give me this like the summarized version.
my
Yeah,
little
yeah.
brother couldn't pronounce my name right. He couldn't say Caleb. He said K-Tub. And so that's
it.
I was making a Twitter account because I wanted to follow a band I liked because they were like, you follow us on Twitter, we'll give you our album for free. I was like, I can make a Twitter account right now. Made a Twitter account and I was like, what do I go with like a name? And I'm like typing out all this like stupid lame shit. I think I'm in like middle school when I'm doing this. So thank God my little brother at the time that I have Twitter pulled up on the desktop and I'm typing in shit, he came up to me, he's like, hey K-Tub. And I was like, haha, and like a light bulb went over my
That's
head.
it.
And I was like, that's it. And I made it and it, little green check mark next to it said it was available. And so I went with it. But like, thank God my middle school ass didn't come up with a name because I would have came up with some weird
my
fucking
God.
middle school
I fucking
PlayStation name.
My PlayStation, I still have my PlayStation name from when I was in middle school.
What is
It was
it?
Shapoopy 120. It's just from Family Guy. I just wanted to fucking play it. I was a Family Guy fan. I'm like, all right, that's it. And then
That's what I've been known on the streets for. It would be like Shapoopy 120.
I'm like, oh yeah, Shapoopy. Oh, it chills down your spine. Bro. Oh, he's so scary. Gosh.
Yeah, so like that was what happened. And I made that name, and then my Twitter was inactive for years because I was just like, get the album and I'm out.
yeah.
And then a friend of mine, Chloe, was like, you should get Twitter. It's popping now in high school. And I was like, I actually already have an account, so I'll just use that one. And I used it, and like that was what I went by, and that's like now it's gonna be hopefully
Bro,
what
you've gone viral
it's
so
now
many
it's gonna be
times,
tattooed on
bro.
me.
Right?
Tattooed on you. It's on a podcast.
You've gone
on
viral
Twitter.
so many times, bro. I'm like, God
oh,
damn it! I'm
come
like
on.
another one. Really? Like I was. It's like the Golden State Warriors. Like they stood for them winning the first couple championships, one or two, and then they're like, you're like, fucking really? He's like, again.
That's literally how all of us handle that shit. Whenever we see Caleb go viral, we're like, motherfucker. Like, I mean, I guess good for you, but go fuck
Bro, you
yourself.
know how to work it so well. Like
I just go, okay, how would Twitter think? And then I
Why do you
post
think
it.
I started this podcast with him?
Yeah, he just used me for clout, honestly.
I was like, I don't know
Just
how
for
to
the clout,
promote.
really.
He does. I'll just do it with him. Yeah, that's why I did
I
it.
see this turning into like a TV show for you guys. I think this would be great for you guys.
We actually want to get a video. Like we've sat down and we figured out exactly what like camera or close to it, what camera we want to use, our video camera, and thinking about like a setup and what we would do for like switching frames, how many cameras we would need, all that shit. So it's in the works.
The only problem with it now is like this big ass mirror.
you just see cameras in the mirror.
You would see
Oh,
everything, and it's
right.
like
You need, like, an actual
reflections, and it's
place to shoot.
Everything's
Yeah.
doubled, and it would just look really
and
fucking weird.
that's why we're waiting on it.
So in like a few months when I move, that's when we'll do it. When it's not in a room with a big ass mirror like this.
Because there's no like talk shows out there with like two people. Well, I mean like talk shows on like TV.
Are you talking
and,
about
like,
talk shows or are you talking about podcasts?
I'm talking. This could turn into a talk show. I mean, you guys are great personalities.
Well, first of all, thank
Sorry,
you.
I think
you
this is my
beautiful
major
human
talking.
being.
I'm sorry.
My major? Yeah, bro. I think we need an entertainment manager.
What's also cool about that was I was thinking, oh fuck, I got to reply to that person. I got a message from. I don't want to name drop her just in case.
Just
but,
do it.
Okay, I think it's Abril. Hit me up and was just like, if I'm big in this stuff, like I'm doing like video and whatnot, and I'm in the same field as you. So if you ever need help, and I was like, oh shit. Like it clicked in my head, like if we ever need to build a team, well, not if, when we need to
When,
build a
yeah.
team, like
We have people.
we have people.
Yeah, man.
Like we have now you and like an
Ryan's gonna
entertainment
manage us.
I can be your guys' manager.
Oh yeah,
Dude, how fucking insane
No way.
would that be? Like, and that's what's cool. And
Someone else who's an entertainment manager major is like, fuck.
I was this close. But what's cool about that? Oh, okay. That kind of stems back to like how I went about high school, how I've gone about life since about, I'd say high school, not middle school. In high school, I realized like I'm going to make a lot of friends. And the reason I want to make a lot of friends is so that when I get older, I have a lot of connections with people to build off of, and not to use by any means, but to literally build with. So it was just like one of our friends from high school, kind of a mutual, she is studying to be a doctor. I have another friend who's studying to be a doctor, and I was just like, in the future, if I ever need like a doctor, I can go to them because like I've known you since we were literally like kids.
Yeah, that's why people are so huge on networking, because it's not just like your friends. If you network right, you can like have all these same connections with people who you like don't know too well, but you have that mutual, I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
It's just
thing.
the word networking gets ruined by the people that are solely there for using.
I think they misuse the word.
Oh yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Like whereas for us, I'd say at
So
least
let's
for
use
me,
the word mingling.
yeah, there we go.
no, for me, it's like making friends.
Yeah, no, that's what it
Literally,
is.
That's
though.
what it is. And then
Because like you don't
eventually-
go up to someone and you're like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I do video and you're a chiropractor and my spine's fucked up and your ads suck." So
so it's just cool because like if I'm not saying if it's more of when, like if I'm saying if with the manager thing because I don't know how podcasts work, but like when we need a manager because you're in the field and you're doing that, and like
I'm your
you'll
guy.
eventually get to a point where you're just going to be. Do you want to own? That's another thing I want to get into. Might as well just switch over to it now because I've gotten my point across of just like it's fucking dope. We have friends that have a lot of the same interests that can like align with some of the stuff that we're doing, and we can all work together.
Oh, for sure.
Hands down, coolest fucking shit ever. What do you want to do with this field after this internship, after school, after all of it?
What's the big billboard goal for you?
Well, for them, they want me after 6 months. They want to consider me for salary and then keep me. But then, I like
Salary's
I'm
a
not, it's not even
workload.
my first day yet. I don't even know if it's something I want to stick with. You know,
Right, right,
But
of course.
I don't know. I want to be like a producer probably one day, or
For like
a
movies?
movies, TV shows, any of it.
Fuck
Like
yeah.
I'll
Just
be
a producer in
producer.
general.
Yeah, I don't want to be like too big, but like
Well, because I guess producers that
Yeah,
can
because
fall
then everyone
into
would
anything.
mispronounce your name on the streets.
exactly. I'm
They'd
gonna
be
have to
like
make a stage
Sison.
name, bro. God damn it.
They'd be like,
Actually,
yeah, that's Ryan Cal State Northridge. That's Ryan Sison.
no, that's funny you bring that up because like fuck, I hate my last name. I just want to make something I could be proud of. Like
Yeah.
fuck.
Just get a porn star last name. Like, just make a
Just
fake name
like
for your producer.
Sins.
Sins?
Yeah. Sins.
Not somebody else's porn star name. You avid watcher. Now you.
He's like,
shit.
Reed? Oh,
You're
I
like,
mean,
yeah, I'm gonna
That
change my
just
first
spoke
name to
volumes
Johnny.
of what I watch. God damn it.
You're like, yeah, instead of Ryan Sison, I'm going with Johnny Sins. I don't know if that name's been taken or not, but that's what I'm gonna go with.
what's your middle name?
Angelo. Which is not that
Ooh.
bad. I
No,
mean,
that's
I was
cool.
ashamed
I
of
like
it growing
it.
up, but I mean, it's
That's like
shit.
that's like
It's cool.
Italian Renaissance shit. There's
Right? Thank you.
Michelangelo,
Like I'm a fucking
you know?
painter or something.
You got my
Yeah.
Roz.
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 That's it.
That works.
Oh,
Something.
okay.
Like for my stage name?
Yeah, RAS.
Like, you don't have a last name? Nah, just
Not
Roz.
just Roz. Bro.
Just Roz.
Oh, that's mysterious.
That's kind of
Ooh, I fucking
hard.
love
That's
that.
kind of hard.
Oh, you see when Roz is dropping on this Friday?
Yeah. The
Oh,
producer
shit.
known as Roz.
No, but look, going back to Caleb's when he was a guest on here, you said you want to stick around here and like bring the city up. You want to like contribute,
Yes,
to, and that's
dude.
something I want to do too. Like,
Yes.
like
Oh, we're gonna
I'm trying to
build
have
an
my-
empire.
I'm trying to have my name on a building out here.
Yeah,
you guys
man.
are fucking
Yeah.
welcome, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like, we can all find our way to like build the place up, and then we'll have our own little plaques on the boulevard.
There we go. That's it.
Do you want it to just say Paris with a big ass fucking lion?
Oh God, Oh,
Dude,
my-
we should get him on the podcast.
If we got him on the dude, I recently saw something on Facebook that he was like with the homelessness. I don't. This is one of those touchy subjects where it's just like when people call it a problem, like yeah, homelessness is a problem, but calling homeless people a problem is fucked up.
You know who the biggest problem homelessness is for? The homeless. It's their problem.
But he's saying with the uprise of homeless people being around here and being on like literally every corner asking for money, he literally is, at least from the headline that I read, I didn't read into it, so I could be totally wrong.
I think
that
he
people,
is.
that people should be armed.
Oh no.
And I was
Damn.
like, oh
no.
fuck no, not out here.
Well, people are already armed out here. We have the whole Hicktown Quartz Hill area where everyone's like, "Yeah, fucking haul!" all the time.
This
They
is a
have
conservative
guns.
town that
Yeah,
we live in.
yeah,
so, like-
exactly. Like in all of California, we light up red.
oh yeah, exactly.
And so
It's just
but-
more of a reason for fucking idiots to have guns.
Oh yeah, well, idiots are gonna find guns regardless.
Correct, but
Yeah.
like in Texas, they kind of have that shit on a lockdown. From what I know,
What do you mean?
like people that are actively armed, like that are just walking, because what's the right that they have?
Open carry?
Yeah, they have open carry over there. So for the most part, from what I understand, that Texas
Out there, you don't know who to fuck with.
Texas has it kind of on a lockdown. Out here, that's a new thing, and with new things, people go fucking buck wild, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I got this gun on me,
Well,
and they get into an
California's-
argument and they pull their fucking gun instantly.
It's not like California's just now getting like the accessibility to guns. Like you can still go out and get a pistol today. Like,
Right.
So it's nothing new. He's probably just like incentivizing people like, hey, have something to defend yourself. Because like literally, I think it was yesterday. I was driving home. Yeah, it was last night. I was driving home and I was at 60th Street West and 60th Street West and K, completely dark intersection at like, I want to say like 1 a.m, midnight, around there. And by myself in my car, and there's some dude standing on the middle meridian, and like he looks over at me and he like waves at me, and like
You said this is nighttime?
Yeah,
Oh,
night.
fuck.
At like midnight. And like
shit.
I roll my window down a little bit and he walks up to my car and he's like, hey dude, I need a ride to like 40th and S. Can you give
Bye.
me a ride? And I was like, I'm really sorry, but no. And I hope you get your way over there, but I can't. And then I just rolled my window up and stared at the red light.
He's just there staring at you
Yeah,
still,
he just went
hoping
back
to roll
and
the window back
and
down?
just
He's
like
like,
went back
actually,
and standing. But I
yeah.
was like, I'm by myself. I have no form of defense. I'm not going to take some stranger into my
Yeah.
car who's a full-grown
Oh.
man to take him
Yeah,
out there.
absolutely.
Like, and so I was like, no. And so we were like, the rise of people who are homeless, you need to defend yourself. I thought like, literally driving home, I was like, fuck. Like I kind of feel like I need something to defend myself just in case. Because if that dude was like, oh no, you gonna take me.
Oh, right,
and then like
right.
reach through the window, like that's where I'm like, fuck. Like, what am I gonna defend
The
myself
only
with?
thing that I would probably do in that moment, if I really felt bad, was be like sit on the trunk. Sit on the trunk, and I'll drive slow.
Well, I told him down the ropes.
It's midnight.
real
There's
quick,
not a lot
bro.
of people out. I won't drive very fast. Just sit on the trunk and hold on.
Well, I considered
on, not in, on the
No, I
outside.
know. Oh,
Okay,
I know.
I'll
No.
pop it if you want to just sit inside.
what I considered was if I had someone else with me, I would have like ordered him an Uber. But like, just like, I didn't want to like just sit around there. I told my family I'd be back home real quick. Like, and so I didn't want to just like,
No, you shouldn't
sit around there by
You shouldn't
myself.
feel bad about that. It's literally your safety.
no, I know,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
it is. There's still that guilt where it's like, I could have helped someone and I didn't,
Right.
but I
But
don't
it's
know
your
what
sa-
would have happened.
Exactly.
That's the point.
If it was some like little girl, I would have been like, yeah, let's go get you back. But like, it's a full grown man, the most violent animal on the planet. Right. I'm not I'm not letting you in my car, bro. Like, and so like, if I had someone with me, I would have pulled out to the side, probably ordered the dude an Uber and just been like to the Uber, like, I don't know this guy.
But you didn't, so you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. So, you
I just
know,
want to let you know
I'm
that
fucking
you
awful.
suck and you should have given him a ride. How
Yeah.
dare you?
So I know.
He died.
I'll leave.
He
now.
died that night.
Yeah, probably.
Oh shit.
Moment of silence.
No, but you said going back to the headline.
Yeah.
He's like assuming like all homeless people are like a
Dangerous.
problem, but
Well,
like,
yeah.
I work at I work at Starbucks. Like as I said,
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
As you can imagine, there's like a lot of homeless people I encounter every day.
Well, you're off
And,
the
like,
Boulevard, right?
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
so-
like the
so, like,
mecca
that's-
of where everyone. That's right. Everyone gathers there, and like, oh man. But I do feel bad. Like, even I came across a homeless person I knew from elementary school.
Whoa.
It was crazy. I'm like,
that is
whoa.
weird.
Yeah, she recognized me. I'm like, I'm like, holy shit, I do
Whoa.
know you. Like,
That's
I can't.
I think
That's one thing I've never run
that's-
into.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
insane,
ran
bro.
that through my head once. That holy shit, I might run into a friend who's homeless.
yeah.
Was
and-
she like kind of, when I say freshly homeless, I mean like, was she still kind of like
New
upkept,
to
or
the
was she like
streets?
homeless?
She looks
homeless?
like clean, but like, it seemed like she's been at it for a while. Like,
That's fucking.
it's
that's
crazy,
sad.
bro.
That's crazy.
It really is sad. I felt really, really bad.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
I'm always so torn with those because it's like half the time it's bad circumstance, the other time it's bad decisions.
Well, because
Right.
okay, so that's what I was just gonna get into, is just like bad circumstance, that fucking sucks. Bad decisions, redemption, and that also fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like there are people that are just like, yeah, I did drugs and I don't want to do those anymore, and it's just like, now I want to change that shit, and no one takes me seriously because I'm homeless and because maybe I smell bad and look bad, but I still want to try and be like a better person.
Yeah.
That whole fucking issue sucks. And it's just like with the whole thing with RX Paris, like I think people should be armed. Like people, if you fear for people being in danger, just from homelessness, you're wrong because there's already crime out here as is. You think that homeless people are now gonna like?
Well, that's
now it's dangerous out here, bitch. It's been dangerous.
Right.
Like
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, if he's going off of a statistic,
again,
like
off
like
of a
the crime
headline,
from,
that's what I'm reading.
yeah, like
off of.
let's say the crime from homelessness is rising, then more of a reason to say have something to protect yourself. But like my family friend was homeless for a while and actually like lives out of an RV, and so he knows a lot of the people that literally like just go up and put up a tent in the desert. And he's like, dude, the majority of these people out here can't pull themselves up by their bootstraps because they're addicted to drugs. That's where all their money goes. That's where all their time goes. That's where all their energy goes. And so like they can't help themselves. And that causes them to make even more bad decisions. It causes them to go like try to mug people or rob places and everything. So in RX Paris's case, if it's the case and most people are like addicted to drugs or that's causing them to act out, then you probably, if you're alone, need a form of defense, whether it be just like a knife, a taser, or a gun. And then at the same time, find a way to get these people into like recovery mode rather than just like usage all the time.
Right. And like if it was like an active thing where it was just like, I think everybody should be armed and then we're going to make this active fucking approach at getting people to be better and because everybody just wants to ship off the homeless. Like that's
from what the rumors are, that's what they do to get them here.
Yeah, literally. And it's not just rumors. It's an actual statistic is LA gives a bus ticket, a one-way bus ticket. And it's not just LA. A lot of places do that.
Fucking way. I didn't know
They
that.
actually
because that's what people say. Like they ship them out here.
Yeah.
Like
What?
They
get all
literally
homeless.
are just sending, they're just like, we want to clean. And this is such a
It's so fucked up. Yeah.
It's so fucking weird to talk about human beings this way. It's like, oh, we want to clean up the problem. So give them a one-way ticket and ship. Not like send off, not move, people from one area. Ship the product or ship the problem from one area to another. It's just like
I'll have one homeless person, please.
so they're just sending them over to areas that they deem as like, oh, this is that they can deal with it. And yeah, first of all, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because we live out here. Secondly, like, why not actively help, dude?
That's why
Exactly.
I love one of my favorite things. It's kind of like oddly specific, but it relates to the conversation. One of my favorite things is when I see videos of barbers who go clean up the homeless.
Oh,
Same
dude,
here.
they go from like
so
this
good.
raggedy person to like clean as fuck, ready for a job interview.
And they look like nice people.
Yeah, they
it's
go
just
from
because their
looking
hair
like bumps
looks.
to looking like real, like everyday person inside of society. And it's like, holy shit, that's what's underneath all of this like detriment. It's just another fucking person.
What's
Absolutely.
funny is like this whole what's it called? They're not hippies. They're what are
Hobos?
No, the hippies, like the people that are actually like part of society that they dress a certain way.
Oh, like hermits?
No.
You're going to have to give me more.
People-
I'm just going to
people
keep
that-
throwing out H words.
No, oh Jesus Christ! It's literally like
Hippies, hipsters.
it's like hipsters.
More H
essentially.
words.
Yes, so it's like hipsters can look like a homeless person, but because they work a job, everybody accepts them. But the second you
Well-
see a homeless person, you're just like,
I wouldn't say they're that close. Like they have long hair and long beards. Yeah,
I'm
but
not
you
saying
can tell.
I'm not saying all hipsters are like
I'm
that.
not- I know.
I'm saying that there are people that dress like they let their hair grow out fucking crazy and their
Yeah.
beard grow out crazy,
Yeah.
and like they're still accepted. But you see a homeless person and you're just like, oh, you're below us. Like I don't.
The reason is because when you look at a hipster, you can still tell, okay, their clothes are relatively new. You can tell they took a shower the other day, and you can tell that they're groomed. And with a homeless person, it's like they're wearing clothes that are raggedy, that have holes in them, have dirt all over them and stuff
I'm
like
just
that.
saying I don't like the fact that they're seen as lower. It's just
Well,
like
yeah,
that-
no, that definitely
yeah,
sucks.
that's the point that I'm getting at.
Yeah, and it's just because like, and at the same time, it's such an odd position for someone like us to be in, where it's like you're at a gas station and someone asks for spare change, and whether or not you have spare change or not in your pocket, if you like, do you help them? Do you not? Do you feel bad or do you not? Like, you want this money to go towards bettering them, not towards putting them into a worse position.
Right.
Like, so like it's a weird, like almost no real good answer to position to sit in.
We can go on and
It's
on about
unfortunately
this.
one of those things that's gonna always be around.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's up to us to like really just help them out. Like some people really just turn the other way when it comes to them, and like
if I genuinely don't have money, I don't have money.
Dude,
I
I never fucking have cash on me.
But there are also
Never.
there are also times where like, and I'm not a saint, like I've been like, no, I don't have cash on me. One, because I'm fucking strapped and I do have cash on me, and I'm sorry, I can't, like, I'm trying to penny pinch, but I've had it thrown in my face so many fucking times that it's like, what are you gonna do with this? Are you
Right.
actually homeless? Or are you acting? Because that whole statistic that came out with panhandlers that make more than minimum wage when they're out there and they just go home. They go home. Their job is to panhandle and dress dirty and dress homeless.
wow.
You don't know about this?
I mean, I've heard somewhat about it, but not this much
no,
detail
it's
about
it's
it.
a literal
Like,
thing
wow.
that it's panhandling. So it's not considered
Yeah.
homeless because they're not homeless. They are people that literally have cars.
You know what? No, that makes sense because like there's this guy in front of Stater Bros. I live near there.
Yeah.
And like he's always there every day and like nice set of clothes. He looks like he has money and he's there every day just asking for money. And
Now,
like,
I mean, if you're making 16 an hour,
Right, as
sitting on the
oppo-
corner, it's like, why am I going to apply to the job that makes 13? Like,
that makes sense though.
You got to
too,
think light
so-
cycles, right? Let's just call it every minute the light turns red, or every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, at least one person in that line is going to give you $1. So you make $2 a minute, and you make what, $120 an hour?
Wow, fuck school. That seems like the move.
If you're on a busy street, you can make upwards of $100 to $120 an hour from panhandling.
I'm not gonna jump on that assumption. I don't
I'm
know.
I'm saying it is an assumption. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that it's a real thing.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
saying if that was a car, if there was a line of 10 people every 30
Yes,
seconds and
yeah.
one gives you $1,
Oh, you're good.
you're making fuck tons
yeah.
of money. But there is an actual thing that they did. It was a study of, I think it was in LA, of panhandlers that make above minimum wage.
Yeah.
And they're
Like
that's
there
their
are people,
job.
there are
Wow.
people who like stand outside of like Subways, and like if you paid for your ticket in cash and you have spare change, and it's literally just like fresh people all the fucking time, then you're gonna get people who are like, yeah, here's some quarters, here's $1, here's this.
Because like you said, no one, like I don't carry cash, and like I would look to get rid of that cash as soon
never.
as possible. So
Yeah,
maybe
exactly. Like what my mom taught me and what I try to do is I keep a box of granola bars in my glove compartment. And if I see a homeless person and they're things like, oh, like hungry or like need food or just need anything,
that's great, man.
Then I give them a granola bar.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this will tide you over. It's not bad for you. And it's like easy on me. Like if I'm strapped, like I can still help you. And then I'm not, and then I know where my like money, quote unquote, is going
Right.
to you.
100% on board with that.
And so when you like try to give someone a granola bar and they're like, I'm good. I'm like, thank God I didn't give you money.
That's
Right.
so I was on Santa Monica Boulevard and I was like going back to my car,
and I'm going to pee.
and there was a dude that literally had a sign that said just hungry, really need food, and he was like kind of passed out on his sign. Kind of a younger guy, probably in like his later 20s. And I just looked at him. I'm like, yo, do you want food? And he's like, literally anything. So I went into the McDonald's. I bought him like 6 cheeseburgers because they're fucking $1. Who gives a
Right,
shit?
exactly.
And I brought it to him. And this dude literally looked like he was about to start crying. And I'm like, oh, you're actually hungry.
Right.
Versus I've given people money before and they said, I just want coffee at the Denny's that's 100 feet away from me,
Right.
and waited for me to leave. And then I look in my rearview mirror and they're walking away from it. I'm like,
And just like that, you made a guy's day for like $6,
Right,
Which is like
right.
more than worth it.
and it's just like it's one of those things where I'm just constantly torn. So at this point, it's just like, what's $1 to me? But on every single corner, if I stop at every light, let's say 3 or 4 lights, that's $3 or $4 a day that I'm handing out. And it's just like, what, when do you do it? When do you not? Like,
And I hear some of the panhandlers out here like work together. Like they put their money
Yeah.
together and then
and they're constantly sitting together,
Yeah, I'm
like
like,
on corners and shit. And they're just, it's like a shift. They switch. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? It's a system.
it really is.
Yeah.
And it is established out here.
Yeah, and
By far.
I just don't know how to feel about any of that. But
It's
to
real
switch,
tough.
To switch the subject, because we can talk about that
Oh,
fucking
for
ever.
sure.
Your tattoos. What do you have?
I have this.
The Landon.
This is also, I don't like this one, but
What
I
is
have
it?
a line on
Remember
I have a
that
line
people
on-
can't see anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So when you're like,
You're
I got
this. And you know what that proves to me is that the mics have disappeared and we're just having a conversation.
yeah,
You
yeah.
forgot you're on a podcast. Is the nervousness still there?
Oh no, I forgot we're even on a podcast.
Do you want another beer,
guys.
by the way?
I'm going to chug this real quick.
Do you want the other one?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll
you
grab it, yeah.
Thank you. Also, I have what's that shit ass fucking liquor that I have in the fridge that I told you I have?
Oh, the Hornitos?
Tequila?
You have Hornitos?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Do you want a shot?
Only if you guys do one with me.
Oh fuck! All right, fuck.
Okay.
I'm down.
Okay, start explaining your tattoos as we pour these.
All right. Well, I have.
Still talk to us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just make sure you're in the mic.
Right. All right. Well, I have Landon's name tattooed in blocks on my right forearm, and then a line on the left side of my chest, which I am looking to get fully covered, hopefully soon.
Why?
We'll see. Personally, I didn't know much about tattoos back then when I got it, and then all of a sudden I'm on Instagram now. Like I browse tattoos like a lot. Like dang, there's so much better
Please send me shit.
shit. I got
Dude,
you, bro.
I need more inspiration.
I got you, dude. That's all I do, like on Instagram, like anymore. Like, but then I also have two like neo-traditional style. That's the name, neo-traditional style faces on my left arm, shoulder, bicep area.
And okay.
And like this is it doesn't mean anything. Like
Caleb, just be part of the podcast. I'll do this.
Okay, sounds good.
it doesn't mean anything. Like I just like I'm a fan of the style, and like I like the guy's art.
So what?
and,
Let me see. Like, what's the? Oh shit.
like half her skull's coming
Okay, it's
out.
like it's like realistic. You have like the skin peeling.
yeah,
Okay, so it's like two women facing different directions.
yeah,
That's cool,
yeah. Thanks, man. And yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm trying to get more. Oh my god, I can't wait.
dude. I know. I have.
It's-
I on one of the past episodes, and for anyone who heard it, it's a repeat. Sorry, but it's for sake of conversation. I have this thing where I want to start finding like my own. Like start finding lyrics and songs that I fucking love, and then finding a way that like an illustrator would turn it into a picture, and then get that tattoo.
There's a couple artists I do want to.
So, like what?
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
here's a good topic. We never actually talked about this. What kind of music do you like?
Oh shit, we don't.
We never talk
you guys
about
don't talk
that.
about music?
We
I
rarely
don't know why,
do
'cause
because
that's like a huge
conversation just flows naturally, and
Oh my god. Sorry.
smack the fuck out of the mic.
I'm sorry.
Conversation just flows naturally, and we never really get into it. But like to try to find like, let's say right now we'll try to find like a lyric that you would like potentially get tattooed. What are like some songs or like even genres that you like really like?
Well, I'm basic. I like hip hop a lot, and then I hate to sound like this, but I listen to a little bit of everything. You
Oh, yeah.
know?
You listen to Renaissance
no, but
man?
I do dive back to like I had a heavy metal phase, like pop punk phase. I love
everything. I just listen to it all.
exactly just everything.
You had a pop punk phase?
Everything but country.
There it
Nah, I'm
is.
kidding. No, but yeah, hip hop's pretty heavy on me, and there is. I love Frank Ocean. I love. I'm a huge Kanye fan. I don't
there
care what
you go.
anyone says. Like,
Yeah, dude.
I would love to get something about his music, man. And
Are you like an old Kanye fan or a new Kanye fan?
I'm an
or
all around fan.
all
I
around
don't
fan?
care, man.
Yeah,
He's-
there you go. I am too. I like all around. Like I'm not as well versed in his older stuff because I hopped on to hip hop way later than everyone else because sheltered upbringing. But I love his new shit still and everything.
No, yeah, and like I look up to him way more past his music. I like his mindset on things. Like I like how he just will speak his mind. He doesn't care. He'll
Like
be
the whole
different. He
break
doesn't
away
care.
from the system thing.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. And like I really like Tyler the Creator as well. I
Yeah.
read an interview from like 2014, 2013. It was through Fader magazine, and like
Mm-hmm.
it really dove into like how he thinks about the people around him. Like he said he's breaking walls no matter who's with him, really. So
Yeah.
whoever sticks around with him is like
Well,
with him.
Yeah. How do you feel about Igor?
Oh, I love Igor, bro.
Yeah?
I love Igor. I like the production aspect of it. Like I really appreciate what he put into it.
Yeah,
Like, I
dude, he
love-
did everything right.
Exactly, and
He
he's
did
the
literally
first
everything.
solo like hip hop artist to get a #1 album.
Yeah, and he
So, and that's
he produced it, he
fantastic.
wrote it, he recorded it, he did fucking everything.
I missed my favorite topic because I was in the bathroom.
We're talking
Oh
about
no,
Tyler
we're still
Creator.
going. Bro.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
I don't know his music, so never mind.
Damn.
I'm take myself out of that.
But yeah, like I said, I have a heavy. Oh man, pop punk, heavy.
I'm a huge connoisseur in pop punk, and he's a
I
huge
know you
connoisseur.
guys are. You guys go to Warped Tour, all that stuff.
And,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he's big on heavy metal more than I am. Like we're both into it, but I like main pop punk and he mains heavy metal.
You like heavy metal?
Back in the day, dude, I love
Back in the
All
day.
That Remains. Kill Switch Engage. I was a huge. I had a shirt. I got rid of it, but yeah.
I'm so happy right now.
I love Kill
All
Switch
that
Engage.
remains is fucking.
All That remains is fucking amazing, bro.
They're so good.
And I like Tiger Army. They weren't hardcore. But
Tiger Army.
Yeah.
My brother got me into them a little bit.
oh, they're great.
Yeah.
And I do want to get back into it. I want to see some live shows. Like,
Dude,
we'll see,
I've seen over 100 different like bands and artists.
Really?
Yeah, I just go to like tons and tons of concerts. This is what I
you
do
go
with
to,
my
you go
spare
to a
money.
festival. Like
Yeah.
Warped Tour is considered, I guess, a festival. That's where you can see like fucking
Everyone.
probably 10 to 15 bands in one day.
Dude, we'll just,
See, and that's
we'll
where
just
I wanna
let's just
go.
take Ryan to self-help.
You can take
What
Ryan
is
to
self-help?
self-help.
Oh yeah, you
You're
can't
not
go.
going to self-help? Wow.
You don't even know what it
I
is.
don't even I know.
No, I have a wedding that day, so I
Damn,
can't.
for sure.
But it's a Day to Remember, Beartooth, Periphery, shit ton of
Dang, I
other
wish I
bands.
knew
But
who
it's
those
heavy.
were.
It's
None
heavy.
of these guys ringing any bells.
No, no.
Do you don't know a Day to Remember?
Oh, wait. A Day to Remember, of course. Duh.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's their festival.
throw
What
it.
separates me from you? I've had that album.
Yeah. So they saw Warped Tour and like they played it a few times, but they're like, we want our own to run it our way. So they started their own festival. It's called Self Help.
Warped Tour just, and like, it was the last
Yeah,
one,
they're
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well,
Let's
they're
see if I
doing
can
a run
find-
this year, but now instead of it's not a nation, it's not like Warped Tour nationwide or worldwide. It's
Right.
it's now Warped Tour like 3 or 4 stops. But it's like you guys did this
San
whole thing.
Bernardino. Yeah, a Day to Remember, I Prevail, Beartooth, Periphery, Set Your Goals, Can't Swim. Oh,
Do you guys listen to these guys?
yeah.
I listened to.
I listened to a ton
I'm
of them.
fucking angry because I really wanted to see Periphery. I've been dying to see. Oh,
Yeah,
God
no,
damn.
you would go on rants to me about Periphery, dude.
So they're fucking sick. If I'll suggest them to you. I'll send
Oh, yeah.
them
I'll
over.
definitely check them out because I
Dude.
want to listen. I always want to listen to music. I'm
They're
always down
very
for it.
I think, and I hope whoever's listening doesn't go like, how fucking dare you. I think they're considered like a subgenre of like progressive metal. It's like gent. You know what degent is, but it's not called degent. It's called just gent.
No.
Okay,
I'm
no,
sorry.
that's fine. No,
I'm
it's-
really into this kind of shit. I didn't even know what it
It's
was.
Okay.
it's super fucking heavy guitars. Like I mean, just the
Mean,
one of the
evil.
lowest tuning. Like
Yeah.
strings are kind of hanging, and
I think I have an idea.
and
Yeah.
these fucking guys are like, whew. I'll just send them to you.
Yeah, please do.
Shall we take a shot of tequila?
Oh,
Yes,
my
let's do it.
God.
I
All
got
right.
myself my.
This is our first shot I think we've taken on this podcast.
This is probably the most
What an
relaxed
honor.
I've been.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
Yeah. I'm fucked after this.
That's what I'm saying.
such-
You
I'm
don't
such
see
a
right now, but I'm
lightweight.
fucking scared right now. Like,
It's about to be
Dude, I'm
glowing in
such
this
a
bitch.
fucking, like after those 2 beers, I was like, okay, I have a buzz. After this shot, I'll probably be drunk
I
in
went
like
up and
20 minutes.
I went up and took a piss, and I was like, "Fuck, I have a little bit of a buzz going." Like,
Well, good luck to all of us.
All right,
then.
let's fucking go.
Cheers, boys. Ryan, thank you for being on, my dude.
Thank you for having me, guys. For real.
Ooh, that actually was kind of nice.
Oh, that went down a lot smoother than I thought.
Yeah, that went out down really smooth. Is that like flavored?
It's lime.
Oh, no wonder.
Okay.
I gotta hate
And
liquor.
that was tequila. All right.
Lime tequila.
I did not expect this.
Oh yeah, this is
Ooh.
flowing now. What's our timestamp?
All right, like 2 hours.
All
Oh,
right.
this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Doesn't it just like
nice.
pass?
No, I know. I can't even believe it. I feel like we just started.
Yeah.
You seem way looser now, man.
Oh man, I bet.
You were like
right?
twiddling your thumbs before and everything. You were sitting
Scratching
crisscross
my neck,
applesauce in the
fuck.
chair.
No, like we said, dude, it eventually just disappears, and it's one of those things that we forgot, and we realized about somewhere around like episode 15 that people that come on have never done this before. Like when we listen to podcasts, it's people who have podcasts that have other people that have
Some people are
podcasts.
so professional with
They're
their
so
shit. It's just
good.
like, yeah, like I was
Here's you
listening.
guys coming. Come over to my apartment.
Yeah, like we're gonna put these weird black rectangles everywhere and just drink. Like there's this one podcast I actually was listening to when I was cleaning my room, and it was called Lore, and it was like telling like weird stories of like history that like are like slightly documented and kind of like controversial, so they're not really put into like main history. And like it was so fucking professionally done, like top tier audio quality, and this dude is like oh thank you, like this is sponsored by Squarespace and like all this shit, and I'm like
Oh,
god
dang.
damn. And yeah, and he's like it's when I literally only clicked on it because I was on the homepage for Spotify and it said popular podcasts, and I was like that one looks aesthetically pleasing. Click, and I clicked on that one and listened to some weird fucking story about some like 1600 settlement in New England that like fought some army of white clad soldiers that didn't exist, like some weird shit. And I'm cleaning my room going, okay, like this is fine. But like, and he has an intro and an outro, and the entire time it's like subtle piano playing over the entire thing, and he's like telling this eerie story, and I'm over here like, fuck, Nick and I just sit down, put up some mic stands, and just
We hit these fucking mics and half the time don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Oh shit, the ceiling fan's still on. Let me go turn that up real quick.
My cornea.
Did you guys just get an intro though? I saw you guys just got an intro.
Yes,
Great.
yes.
Is this gonna be the first episode? Where
This will be
First
the
with a guest.
Let's go.
Yes.
First with a guest.
Thank
with
you
the
for
intro.
saying that because I was gonna be like second episode. You made it special. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm the
man.
first Asian guest. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are
A lot
you?
Of,
Yeah.
A lot of firsts
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, first
Nice.
Oh,
Asian
yeah, I had to
guest.
assume that. I mean, right? I am right. Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
We could go on like you're our youngest father on here.
Well, thank you. Well, is Caleb? Am I older than Caleb? I hate to keep referring back to him because that's the only podcast I've ever
That's
listened
okay.
to.
Oh shit.
Ever listen
Ever,
to?
ever. Like
I'm fucking honored that you.
No,
ours was
really,
a
ever.
very-
Oh fuck.
I want to listen to podcasts more, but like I said, I knew he had a good story. Like I had
There's
to
a
listen.
lot of
like,
long form podcasts that are good.
Uh-huh.
Like the one I always talk. I think maybe out of our this
You
is
heard
23.
of our holy father in heaven named Joe Rogan?
Out of 23 episodes, I've probably talked about Joe Rogan in
Like 20 times.
24.
24 in episode 0.
He's got long form, but that's literally like that's why I started this was because I was like, that's what I want to fucking do. I want to have these conversations with people where it's just like anybody can tune in and you can learn something new about someone, and that's exactly what we're fucking doing.
You're gonna think of two things when you listen back on this, right? You're gonna
I hate the sound of my own voice.
That's the first one. You're gonna be like, "Fuck, that's how I sound." And then the second one is gonna be, "Oh, I was gonna bring up a point there, and I didn't." And I was gonna bring up a point there too. I didn't. I was gonna say this,
Yeah,
but
I'm
then
gonna think of
someone
shit
else
to
said something.
say that I should have said. And
Yeah,
then,
you're gonna think of all this shit where the conversation could have gone, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, like there really is an infinite amount of shit to talk about."
right. And
Yeah.
we barely talked. You're gonna realize we barely like scratched the surface. on, like, a
Exactly.
subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You guys any
Which-
conspiracy theories at all?
Let's
Is this about to
fucking
get
go.
creepy?
Let's fucking go.
I actually was like super big on conspiracy theories when I was like, it was like that YouTube phase. I don't know if like everyone went through it.
I think
but,
I'm
like,
still in that YouTube phase.
like I went through it in like middle school where I was just like, it was just like, is this a UFO? And it was just like a blotchy blip on the thumbnail. And I'm like, ooh, and I just fucking click on it, watch 5 minutes of nothing. And it's like, we don't know, but it could be. And I'm like, that's all I need.
What's his Tom
go ahead,
DeLonge?
bro.
Tom
Tom
DeLonge.
DeLonge. Oh my God. You know Blink 182?
Oh yeah.
You know how they broke up at one point?
Yeah.
You know why they broke up?
Because Tom DeLonge's a fucking nut.
Tom DeLonge was one of their singers, like, where are you? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah. Yeah.
Left the band to go UFO hunting, basically. Total
No.
conspiracy
No way.
theorist.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Total conspiracy theorist. Just wanted to like go see if UFOs were real, wanted to like hunt down Bigfoot. I remember listening to a podcast where their drummer was talking and he was like, yeah, he hit me up like one day, like we were just chatting it up and he was like, yeah, bro, I'm about to go to the Pentagon. Like yeah, he's like,
he's
deep in it,
he's
dude.
got a documentary coming out soon.
Yeah.
On,
So like
on
he
UFOs.
left Blink 182 in its prime to UFO hunt.
Because he
Oh my.
truly believes that they're like
There's
there's a,
aliens, they're Bigfoot,
and
there's
that there's
like,
stuff to crack on this.
I
So
mean, he obviously
talks,
didn't find anything.
No,
I
'cause
mean,
he's
as
not
far
on
as we
any-
know.
as-
Right.
he's not in any
Well, that's
headlines.
the thing is he talks. So he did a podcast with Joe Rogan, and there's this whole 6-minute like snippet of him just constantly. They made a joke about it because on his podcast they always cut things together to make it sound different ways. And it's a 6-minute snippet of him saying like, "Oh, I can't talk about that. No, I can't talk about that. There's this. Well, I can't talk about that." He literally says that with everything he talks about. So it's like, do
He
you
might
know
know
anything,
something.
or are you batshit fucking crazy?
If you guys think about it, if they really found aliens, like it wouldn't make headlines because
See,
people would freak out.
dude, my
Like,
thing is like if the government had like these huge fucking secrets from everything, there would be a whistleblower. Like there are whistleblowers on people when the NSA is spying on us and like Edward Snowden then has to
Oh,
go
yeah.
flee the country.
Right.
If there was a live alien in Area 51, motherfuckers would have blabbed about
Not
it by
true.
now. I don't think that the government is tight enough for people to like keep a secret that big of alien life out.
This is where I
unless
completely
they just Men
disagree.
in Black it and just like put a flash of light and they forget it.
Yeah.
This is where I completely disagree because, like, okay, you don't hear about all the murders in the world, obviously. You don't hear
Okay.
about all the killings in the world. So
Yes.
it's just like they see a whistleblower, and as he's running out, just fucking put a bullet in his head. Like, you would never hear about
That's-
that.
but that- what do you mean by-
what I'm getting at is, like, with whistleblowers, there have been people that have been considered whistleblowers. There's, like, audio clips where nobody knows if it's true or not, at least from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But of this one fucking dude talking about the shit that he saw in Area 51, and then after that, he just disappeared. He was gone.
He's dead, bro.
Yeah.
They killed him.
So that's what I'm saying is like, if, dude, I love you, Caleb, but if you really think that the government doesn't have some deep, dark layers to it where they're
man.
hiding
I
a
can't
bunch of
imagine.
fucking shit, I'll tell you right now that you're wrong.
Never said that.
Well, no, because you said
Never said that.
What was the
something as big as alien life?
You don't think that if there was something like that they wouldn't hide it and kept
they
a
would
secret?
hide it.
I don't think they would, and because I don't think that they would be like, say, alien life in the situation where it came to aliens. Whether it's like you're detecting it out into space with telescopes or some shit landed down here, I think it would be detected by other people too. Like
That makes sense.
Like NASA, for instance, doesn't work for the government. No matter how many times Alex Jones says that NASA does, they don't. And so like they had this entire video where a scientist on NASA was explaining how pissed off they get when people are like, oh, NASA's keeping secrets from us, because they're like, we don't work for the government. We don't have to we don't have to keep shit from everyone. Like they're like, we're people too. If we knew that there was an asteroid coming to kill us in 200 years, we would tell everybody about it because our families are affected by it. They're like, we're not going to go and keep our mouth shut. There's not enough money in the world for us to do that, or enough threats. And so it's one of those things where it's like, say it's like something you can detect out into space. I think if it was detected, that shit would have been headlines by now because there's money to make and people to tell.
See, and this is why I don't. Okay, there are two reasons why I don't believe that everything is so black and white. Like everything, there's so many gray areas. Yeah. Two of the reasons being, and this may. I'm not going to say much on I don't want to get the person in trouble, but I know someone in a certain field that one day told me, I was like, these things, holding up my phone, are they always on? And he just was like, no, nodding his head
my
yes.
God.
And he also told me, he was like, he has clearance in the field that he's in, that he is able to know secrets within the government, that there are different tiers, there are different levels of so you have
They've already found your friend. I hope you know that.
there are secrets, there are secrets, there's like top secrets, there's stuff like that, right?
Yeah. There's layers.
There's layers of it. There's stuff that happened 50 years ago that will just be released now because they're kept in
it's classified and then it becomes declassified.
Correct.
Exactly.
Unless WikiLeaks
so
gets
there's
to it
classified with layers on it. He said there's stuff that he knows that's I think 20 or 25 years classified that he can never talk about, right?
Yeah.
So with all of that, there is this podcast called Radiolab, and on Radiolab, I think you would, if you like conspiracies,
God.
you'd fucking eat this shit up.
Okay.
From what I know, from other podcasts, Radiolab kind of took a turn for the not worse, but like they're not just as good as they used to be. But there was one that I listened to, and it blew my fucking mind. And
Was
I'll
it the
never
Chinese one?
Yes.
You told me about it when we were in my kitchen.
Basically, when we had bombed Hiroshima
Dude,
and
okay.
Nagasaki.
Like, just to prime it up, I am like an extremely skeptical person. I'm not one to like buy into shit. When Nick was telling me this shit, like to a skeptical person, I'm going, oh my God. And I Google it and I'm like, it's real.
That's what's crazy when a skeptic believes it.
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
the craziest
So-
thing.
Because it's real. It fucking happened.
The thing is on Radiolab, they only talk about stuff that the creepy stories that actually happened.
That can be proven.
That can be proven. So when we bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right?
Oh, it's Japan. That's not China. I'm fucking stupid. Here I am with the Asians. Dude, full fucking circle with our Asian guest. I'm like, yeah, they're Chinese.
So when we bombed them, they actually retaliated and no one knows about it. They genuinely sent thousands of bombs to the United States and no one knows about it. So what they did when they
what?
So in the sky, genuinely, this is a real fucking thing. Anybody that's like, oh, this is bullshit.
Google it, bitch.
In the sky,
There's an air
it's
current.
a wind tunnel. It's a current that constantly keeps up at like speeds of anywhere from like, I think 70 to like 200 miles per hour, somewhere in there. So I think it's, we'll call it 100, 125 miles per hour. It's a tunnel that literally,
And it
it's
goes
just
from west to east.
that literally just constantly flows. It never stops.
It's just a part of the atmosphere.
And they found out about this, or they knew about this, and they were trying to figure out how to get the United States back. They were like, we have to do something. So they started constructing these bombs that could be carried by balloons.
Paper mache
And they
balloons.
did. You're fucking jumping too far ahead. Relax. Sorry. So they were doing different types of balloons, and every time that they would send balloons up, a lot of the bombs were dropping in the Pacific Ocean. They couldn't get it across to us. And so eventually they had somebody come up with a balloon that was made out of paper mache that would actually, so some balloons were too whatever the case may be, where they went too high and then they would pop, or they were too low and they would just sink.
They wouldn't hit the current.
And then they would eventually find a paper mache one where it fit perfectly in a current, where it would change the altitude and just go high and low in that current. And it would travel until eventually it would fall out of the current and start dropping into the United States.
They would land in U.S. territory.
There are
shit.
thousands, at least over 1,000 that they know. I think they found like 500 something, but thousands of bombs that they sent over that just randomly dropped in the United States at places all over the nation. And they're literally in states everywhere.
And they didn't blow up upon impact. They just kind of landed on the ground and then like over time got like buried.
And some of them
fuck.
react. Some of them have never reacted. Some of them reacted upon impact, and some of them reacted once people found them. And so there are stories in this Radiolab episode. And if anybody wants to look it up, if you want to look it up, like, just type in Radiolab, fucking, I don't know, Japan sending bombs or some shit like that.
Balloon
You can listen, because on Radiolab, they do this whole thing where there's music to it. And like, it's super fucking creepy. And it gives my body like chills to think about
crazy.
this. Some of the stories that they were talking about, and I believe Caleb's looking it up. So when people want to look it up,
it's a Fugo balloon bomb.
Is there a Google image?
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of it.
Holy
so you
shit.
can see.
so as they're talking about this,
Oh shit.
yeah,
Big ass balloon with strings.
there was like
all down the bomb.
a cop from a small town city that saw this floating object, and they thought it was some like UFO type thing. So he went to go like grab onto it. I think he chased it, and he finally like grabbed onto it, and it like spun him around in circles. And it's this crazy fucking story, and how he found it was a bomb, and like the government found out about it somehow. I think he reported it in, and they came and they were just like, you don't know anything about this, you never speak about this, blah 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 blah. There was one story that stood out to me, and I was like, motherfucker, dude.
I think that's the one I'm reading about right now.
Was a family went camping
in Oregon,
and it was a husband and wife with their kids and their kids' friends, and the wife was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And they got out of the car.
Well, she became sick, so they pulled over.
And the kids ran over to this thing that they saw, and the mom went over there with them, and the dad was like near the car doing something.
I think she was a teacher, and she had her kids and some of her students with her. It was 6 people,
and they went up to this thing and either touched it or just being near it, it fucking blew up, and it sent out like a grenade, like shrapnel. And it fucking just
killed all 6 of them.
Obliterated all 6 of them. And he watched it happen.
And he's just like, they're telling him not to speak of it.
And there was like this Asian woman, I believe, or
it says Japanese released an estimated 9,000 fire balloons.
9,000?
342 reached the U.S.
And
so there's like a few thousand still,
and the government
could be still up there.
Well, no,
like
340.
No,
if they went up and then they came back down.
Okay,
but
so
342 got to the U.S. and the U.S. knew they were doing this because they were shooting them down.
Oh shit!
They were shooting some of them down, but some got as far as Nebraska.
So the other thing that's fucked up about it is they only know of 342 that reached.
Right.
They don't. There are still some that are out there
that reached and exploded and detonated.
No.
Right?
That are still sitting out there somewhere. They
Holy
don't know how
shit.
many approximately got over
That's
here.
the type of shit that blows my mind because like recently in like England or something, they just found a bomb in like a river or something, and then they had to like
They detonated it, right?
Yeah, they detonated.
I saw that, man, from like World War II. They found
That's
a bomb.
fucking
That's
nuts.
crazy to me.
And the
Like,
people that were killed by that bomb were the only U.S. casualties on our mainland from a World War II attack.
holy shit!
And
dude.
this shit happened. When does it say it happened?
During World War-
1945.
that's
No.
World War II era.
Let me see. You guys continue. I'm gonna
So
figure it
during
out.
the World War II era, right? 60 years later, maybe like 55 years, 50 years, whatever the story comes out, and that's when Radiolab does it. We're learning about that, and that was fucking 50.
No, it was 1945, May 5th, 1945. Japanese balloon bomb kills 6 in Oregon.
Oh,
You said 45, so what is that? 74 years later? 74
No.
years is now 45.
Oh wait, what are you talking about?
1945 until now.
74
years.
Yes.
Okay.
So I listened to this podcast 4 or 5 years ago. So we'll call it 70 years for the sake of this conversation. You don't hear about this until 70 years later. Imagine what the fuck we're going to hear when we're 70 or 80. Like, oh yeah, all that alien shit, 100% real when the aliens are up there at the podium talking to us.
I actually have a story like that too from my grandma. She lived down at Hermosa Beach for a little bit when she was in her youth, and her brother at the time worked for the military, and it was during World War II. Her brother called her and was like, "Go down to the beach now." And she was like, "Okay." And so they ran out to the beach, and they saw a bunch of military personnel all like blocking people off from like getting into the water. And she was like, "Okay." And this is during World War II, or like right before we got involved. And she's watching as these huge detonating charges are shooting up water into the sky right off the coast of Hermosa Beach down in Southern California. And then they're like, what the fuck are they doing? And it's just white water flying up to the air. And then one of the explosions, it's not white water, it's black. And it's like all oil and shit. They sunk a Japanese submarine right off the coast of Southern California. Right off the coast. They were like scouting us out before we even got involved, before Pearl Harbor, before any of that. They were scouting us out right on California's coast. And the military personnel went up to them and said, "You never saw anything that happened here."
Holy shit.
And it became declassified years later.
So they know they were on our soil. Is that what
They were
from this?
right up against us,
And they
dude.
knew, or-
Yeah, like the U.S. already had known there were submarines there and already were sending planes dropping bombs into the water, and they found it and they sunk it, and they were like, "You didn't see anything. You can't tell ananybody about this."
Whoa, what? Holy shit.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
Have you heard of Murphy's Ranch out in I think it's the Santa Monica Mountains, somewhere right off the coast? Murphy's Ranch is an old abandoned Nazi ranch that was built out here because Hitler basically was planning on winning the war. He's planning on taking over America and all of Europe and all that shit. And so he had people come out to Southern California and build like this big ass ranch where he would either live or he'd have to go to. And it had like these big ass buildings and like miles of steps down into this canyon and everything. And then when we won the war, they fucking ditched the project and left.
Right.
And now it's this old place that's all like graffitied up and you can go hiking at. Nice
And
little
this
hiking
is
spot.
where? The Santa Monica Mountains, you said?
Around there. I can Google it actually.
Please
right
do,
now.
because I would love to go.
Dude, yeah, I've been a couple times.
Speaking of hikes, except for today, but every Sunday, I try to go on hikes if you're interested.
Bro, I love hiking.
Okay.
Like, seriously.
I genuinely like...
Murphy's Ranch, abandoned Nazi camp in Santa Monica.
Are you shitting me?
I can make those one of the hikes that we go on. I'm down, dude.
Yeah, I've been a couple times. It's really fucking cool. There's old
Is there any like Nazi symbols anywhere?
It's not really like they didn't
not
like
blatantly
it was
Nazi?
just like them laying down like the architecture. So they have
Okay.
like old buildings that were like all like graffitied up from all people that have been there now. But it's all and it's tons of steps to get down to it.
Yeah.
Funny story actually. I got a group of my buddies to go down to see it. It was like me and Joel and my buddy Springer and a bunch of us. And do you know Tyler Reed?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know Tyler?
Yeah.
Dude, you know how he broke his wrist?
Yeah. I remember he broke his wrist.
He
like,
broke
way
his
back
wrist when we
right?
were hiking on Murphy's Ranch.
Oh, shit.
We were going to Murphy's Ranch, and on the way there was this rope swing that went out over this like ledge and came back. And we were like, "Oh, fucking do it." And Tyler was telling our buddy Dalton to do it. And Dalton's like, "Fine, I'll do it." And Dalton hops on the rope swing, swings out, and then swings back and like gets back on land. He's like, "All right, Tyler, since you made me do it, you got to do it." Tyler's like, "Okay, I'll do it." Instead of grabbing high up on the rope, he grabs the very bottom of the rope and then swings out and loses his grip and falls down and puts his hands out to catch himself.
No.
And then snaps his wrist clean. And we have a video of it. No. Yes. And he flies out, falls on the ground. Joel's right underneath him. him. Joel could have caught him, but he just would have taken Joel out. Joel runs away so he doesn't get hit. And then you hear Tyler hit the ground and go, snapped his wrist in half. We had to call the ambulance. A helicopter came to pinpoint our location. An ambulance drove down, picked him up. We made a makeshift sling, dude. A buddy of ours,
leaves, sticks,
out of like sweaters and backpacks, dude. There was this group of college students that was there at the time that were like rooting us on to do it and everything.
They're just watching you guys.
Yeah. and then it happened, and they were helping us out. And one of my buddies, who I definitely won't name, was like, bro, I got Norcos in my backpack. You want some? Popped some Norcos for him and made this sling that was supporting his elbow instead of his wrist. Didn't help shit at all. His wrist is what's fucked up, and it's hanging off of the sling, and he's like, like in pain. Ambulance comes down, takes him to the hospital, and he calls his parents in the back of an ambulance and is like, I'm on my way to the hospital. I broke my wrist. It was like, if you look at the forearm, it's completely straight, and then there's the hand. It was straight, and then there was like a up, down, and then the hand.
Oh yeah,
it
he
was
snapped it when he said
fucked.
clean. It was
The bone was broken completely clean. It wasn't a fracture. It was absolutely.
I've never broken a bone, so this is like
me either.
Traumatizing.
Yeah,
me.
dude. And my favorite part of this story, I'm going to extend it a little longer. Prior to this hike, Tyler had hooked up with what he called a snow bunny, and
okay.
and he's with this white girl, and
want to explain what a snow bunny is?
I don't need to explain what a
think
snow
we
bunny is.
all
You
know.
know. But
If you know,
he
you know.
was hooking up with this white girl, and she left these mad purple hickeys all over his neck.
Oh,
All
fuck.
over his neck from left to right, dude. And and he's in the ambulance, and this dude is in pain. And even the ambulance worker was like, you have a little fun the other day, bro? Like, he could see his neck, right? But his parents aren't the biggest fan of that kind of activity.
Oh, of course not.
But he has to call his parents and be like, you need to come down to Santa Monica because I'm in the hospital because I broke my wrist. So they come down, they check him out. They're freaking out, right? It's me and our big group of friends all in the waiting room. We all got to see him and everything, and he was hating life. The nurses weren't helping him out like they should have, and all this stuff. And we come back out, and it's me and the boys and the parents in the waiting room. And one of the doctors comes out, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is for Tyler." And like we all rush up, and we're like, "Oh yeah, what's the update? What's the update?" And they're like, "Okay, so yeah, he snapped it clean. Like we're gonna go to X-rays and like get him checked out. Like you might have to stay the night. Like blah blah blah, all this stuff." And and she goes, "But what doesn't make any sense to me is he has this deep bruising all over his neck." And all of us knew about the hookup. And we all look at each other. We're like, fuck. And his parents are like, he's bruised on his neck? What happened?
Oh my God.
And we're panicking in our heads.
Like,
We're like,
no idea.
Dude, we're like, what do we do? And we're like, fuck, we gotta think of something. And I'm like trying to like think of shit. And before I can even think of anything, our buddy Springer goes, what happened was, it was like when he fell, it was a rope swing, and he fell, and there were rocks, and they were falling from the trees, and it fell on his neck when he was on the ground. They fell from the trees and hit him in the neck, so he like fell, broke his wrist. So it was like, and then the rocks hit him in the neck and everything. And we are looking at him like, you are fucking Tyler over so hard. And the doctor looks him dead in the eyes and goes, rocks from trees. And we're like, we're so fucked. And his parents are like looking at us with an eyebrow raise, like, what the fuck? And then our buddy Noah hops in, and he's like, yeah, it could have been that. Or he's like, we did make this sling that was like a total makeshift sling that was total bullshit. It didn't help him at all. And maybe that could have left bruises on his neck. And the doctor goes, the sling, that makes so much sense, and walked away.
Did the doctor know what you guys are like? He knew.
No, the doctor.
Okay. He totally bought it.
No, she was like, totally. The sling. Okay, that makes total sense. I remember the ambulance workers telling us that like they cut a sling off of him.
Okay.
And everything. And she's like, that makes total sense. Walked away. The parents were like, okay, the sling, and walked away. And we were like, yeah. We were high-fiving each other in the waiting room and everything. It was fucking hilarious.
You were smoking the fuck out.
Yeah, I smoked that pop filter pretty good.
That's the last time Austin ever spoke up for you guys, huh?
Dude,
Fuck
we
that.
never, we give him so much shit all the fucking
The
time.
last time he ever spoke. Period.
We're just like, oh yeah, bro, rocks falling
Fucking
from
rocks hit his
trees.
neck and he fucking, are you serious?
But like, picture if that actually happened.
No
Like you
way,
fall
that
off a
would
rope
fucking
swing,
hurt.
you break your wrist, you're on the floor in agony, and then rocks come from heaven and just rain down on your neck. But yeah, dude. So like, fucking, that's the story.
To branch into, well, what were you going to
No,
say?
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say to branch into conspiracies again.
Oh, fuck yeah, let's go.
You.
Dive deeper.
I want to know like why you brought that up.
Oh,
Like, what ran
I'm just
through your
always
head?
into it, man. Like I watch, I'm into BuzzFeed Unsolved heavily. It's a YouTube series through BuzzFeed, of course. They just dive into like weird like cases, like murder. It could be murder cases, like missing persons cases, even alien cases, ghost cases. Like I'm into all that shit.
Yeah.
Have you guys had a paranormal experience before?
Personally, no.
Okay.
A couple,
No way.
but not actually like
Nothing-
having something physically done to me,
Okay,
but like
okay.
been around when things are happening.
Oh,
And I was like,
fuck.
hey, I don't want to be here anymore. One of the things, and I brought this up before, I may have talked about it on the podcast before, but was at our old house, anytime that nobody was upstairs and people were downstairs in the kitchen, because the kitchen was directly below my dad's bedroom, you would hear walking. And it would be pacing from one end of the room to the other. And I would always check and nobody was home. So you would just hear it and that was just it. And
Oh shit,
one
I
day-
have had one.
one day I came home and everybody was hanging out downstairs. It was me, my stepmom, and my brothers. And I heard it and I was like, shut the fuck up, mute the TV. I was like, this is what I've been talking about for months. And they heard it and it's just, you just hear it like
Oh,
going
no, I
back
got
and
chills
forth
right
from
now.
the
No.
room. And they're like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, no fucking shit. Like, I'm not making this up, dude. And we just listened to it for a couple minutes and then it just stops.
And it's just like you can't blame the piping.
No,
anything.
no. It literally sounds like footsteps. Like you
Oh,
know the noise when
no.
somebody's walking
Yeah,
upstairs
yeah,
versus yeah. It sounded just like somebody was up there.
For like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Oh
that's
yeah.
so
You would
scary.
hear it all the time. Eventually, I was just like, I would just be like, "Yo, I'm not here to fuck with you." Like I would just
Yeah.
speak to it. Just do your own thing. I'm cool.
You reminded me. I actually did have one where like I had some as a kid, but like you kind of made it up. Like when you were a kid, you were like, "Oh yeah, I saw some shit." You didn't really see
Yeah.
some shit. But I had one where I was and I feel bad because I can't remember who I was with. I had a friend who was spending the night, and we were sleeping. If you've been to my house, then you kind of know my format. But when you walk into the house, there's a room directly to the left, and it's the den.
I will never be over to your house after this story again.
So me and my homie were spending the night. My homie was spending the night at my house. I'm spending the night at my house. And for some reason, we wanted to sleep in the den. And so we're like sleeping bags laid out on the ground, just sleeping. And but like I'm staring at the ceiling. Like I can't fall asleep. Super late. It's like 1 a.m. And I'm staring at the ceiling in darkness. And my friend's been quiet for a long ass time. He's knocked out. And I'm just sitting here. And then my friend goes, "Hey, you awake?" And I was like, yeah, I'm up. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know you were too." He's like, "Yeah." And we started talking a little bit, and we, like, you know, those things like you talk and then it just gets quiet for a while.
Yeah.
And then you talk a little bit and it gets quiet again. We were talking and it was quiet. And then we felt like we heard footsteps outside of my front door. Like someone was like walking up to the front door, and it sounded like footsteps, and then like the typical horror story, like branch snap, like
Yeah,
they're stepping
yeah.
on a twig or something. And I was sitting here and I was hearing it, and I'm like, I'm tripping, like I'm big tripping right now.
Yeah.
And we just go back to talking and everything, and I stop, and it's still there. Footstep, snap. Footstep, snap. And I'm like, dude, like.
Ryan's so
I was like, the
uncomfortable.
fuck?
I'm tripping.
Like I gotta be tripping. And then my friend goes, "Do you hear footsteps?" And I go, "Oh no!" And I go, "Yeah." I was like, I fucking hear those too, dude. I didn't want to say anything. I thought I was like hearing shit. And he's like, "No, I fucking hear it." I was like, "Watch." And we got quiet, and it didn't really happen. And it was like, snap. footstep. And we were like,
fuck.
dude, what the fuck is that? We're like, that's so fucking weird. And as we're talking about it, my computer turns on.
No.
Dude, my computer straight
Stop.
fucking just like the little, because my computer, when it's off, it's off. Like, you know how computers go into sleep mode and there'll be like a blue light and it'll turn orange when it's in sleep mode. Mine was off. So the computer was completely dark, no lights on. And the next thing you know, it doesn't even turn into sleep mode. It turns blue, like turns on. That turns on. My printer turns on, like with the computer, and just like it starts running, everything. It starts making.
God,
I never hit the mic that hard,
dude.
It starts running. It starts making a shit ton of noise and everything. And we get up. We like got scared. We were like, holy fuck! And we got up and we walked into my kitchen, and we're sitting
You
here.
just left your friend that was sleeping in there?
No, me and him got up.
Okay,
we both got up
gotcha.
and walked away. We were like, what the fuck, dude? And we're sitting here.
Little does he know it wasn't him and his friend that got up.
Yeah, I was actually alone.
It was him. No, it was him and that thing.
But so we got up and we walked in the kitchen, and we were like, "Fuck, dude, that's weird." Like, I'm a skeptic. I'm weird about everything. I'm always like, "There's an explanation," but that shit just turned on. And we were like, "What the fuck?" And the worst part was, we were sleeping in the den, and you know how all of those windows have like the like mesh. What do you call it?
Like the screen door?
The screen. Yeah, they have all the windows have a screen on it, so like you can open it, but bugs won't get in.
Right.
We had the window open. That's why we could hear outside. But
You heard it clear.
But the screen was still there.
Yeah.
And so we had the window open, and we had a screen, so it's not like anything could crawl in. But we had the blinds down, so we couldn't see. So we could only hear.
Oh my God. Because of fucking course, right?
And so we were like, okay, whatever. We got to go back to bed anyway. So we go back in the den and we lay back down again, and we hear the fucking footsteps again. And we're like, okay, I can't fucking do this, dude. This is fucking weird. And so I promise I don't make shit up. Like this, it's not for story. It's not hyperbole. So my friend's like, dude, this shit's driving me crazy. I have to fucking see if someone's outside. We look out the peephole, and it's just like dimly lit by like the one light above the front door. You all right there, Ryan?
No, yeah, I'm freaking out. I just need to pee really bad. I'm just waiting.
So it's dimly lit, and you look into the distance in the darkness, trying to make something out of it. You can't see anything. And my friend's like, I'm just gonna like peek out the window. And so he walks over, and he like goes to grab the blinds, and a gust of wind shoots this shit up. Like,
Are you
the blinds
shitting me?
fly fucking up, and there had been no wind all night.
Yeah.
And it flies it up, and we went out loud, fuck! and ran in the kitchen, and I'm visibly shaking. I'm so fucking fucked up. I turn on every light and every TV, and fucking all my friends have a low right. George Lopez is fucking playing because it's middle of the morning.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there, and I'm watching George Lopez as I'm shaking my fucking leg and everything. I woke my mom up. I was like,
She's like, you're tripping. It didn't happen.
And I'm gonna like, I didn't even know what to say. Yeah. And so that's like the end of the story. Like, that was what happened, and that was my only real encounter with some shit where I was like, that was fucking weird, and it fucking scared the life out of me.
You know, Ryan really has to fucking pee when he was so into that story. Dude, didn't even get to the end, and he was like,
Jesus Christ, dude, he's about to piss himself.
I got one that's gonna creep him the fuck out, and it's from my brother Andre. This was when we were living at the house, and as you were talking about this stuff, I was like, oh yeah, the creepiest one that ever happened that I've ever heard about from like a person that I actually know that I also trust with the shit, because like he's got some haunting shit about him. I believe,
Would he want to come on?
yeah, oh yeah,
Dude, we should have him on.
yeah. Oh, that also brings up a point. I know what I want to do for a podcast, and I know what I want to do. Perdcast. Alcohol. I want to have Ryan, that's Ryan, and Joel on if we do a 4 and get drunk.
Dude, yeah. They have such a good dynamic together.
That mixed in with the fact that like the alcohol is just it's fun, dude. It's so much
I'm feeling
fun.
a good
It's nice.
vibe right now. You back? You better.
I needed that. I'm gonna drink some more.
We were saying that,
you had the like a librarian walk to you where you were like, there's something of urgency, but I got to be quiet. And you're like, tick, 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 tick.
Oh no! Yeah, I need to go. So I need to go like 30 minutes ago.
So one of the stories that I wanted to save about the whole like
creepy shit
is my brother Andre. He lived with us. When I say that, I forget that people don't know. My younger brother's best friend lived with us for like 8 years. So he's basically like our brother. He has a lot of haunting shit about him. If I remember correctly, there was something about someone either in his family or a very close relative had something to do with like devil worshiping. And there was always just like stories of haunting shit being around and ghosts and all of that stuff. So he tells me that there was one night that he is at the house. It was either one night or one day. And if it was a day, it's even creepier. At night, it's like, oh, okay, night, the creepy things happen. But he said that he's eating fucking Chips Ahoy cookies in the kitchen. And he's like snacking on them. And something fucking bumps into his shoulder, like hits him kind of hard. And I've never told you about this.
You haven't.
He gets hit. And he's like, what the fuck was that? And he turns around and he said, couldn't put a picture on the waist down, but the waist up was this thing that he said, oh God, the fucking chills on my arm, dude.
Too. Oh my God.
And so at my house, it was kind of a longer living room and kitchen connection. So it was a pretty long stretch that he got to see this. It hit him. And when he turned, he saw like the waist up and it had like a kind of a blurry head, but he could see the body fucking sprinting into the living room, takes a sharp left and just disappears into the wall.
What the fuck is that? Oh my God.
He told me that shit. I said, get the fuck out of the house. I was like, you can't live with us anymore. I was like, that shit. So up until he was 16, 18, somewhere around there, when he first started staying the night before he lived with us, because they've been friends for a long fucking time, he would always sleep with covers over his head. Fucking in the middle of 108-degree days, and it was like 90 degrees at night, 98 degrees at night. Fucking sweating underneath the covers, but would sleep with them over his head because when he was a kid, he used to see things sitting in the corners of his room. And so up until he was like,
oh my God.
So up until a certain age, when he finally got past it, he used to sleep with them because he couldn't sleep because all he would do is stare at him.
He's probably like clairvoyant or something. Like, right? Like he's seeing some shit, bro.
So one of the things that he told me, and everybody's encountered this in their life, and I was like, oh fuck, I've never thought about this. You have your hands over your mouth.
Holy shit.
Is if you ever hear a knock at your door and there's nobody there, and you can like tell, like, you know there's not going to be a package, to not open your door
because you invited in.
You invited in.
Oh fuck. Okay.
So yeah, if you ever hear a knock and you know there's no package and you see that there's no package, like, you don't open your door.
Okay.
Even if you think you hear a knock.
No, yeah, for real. Oh my God.
Yeah, super creepy shit. I thought I remembered this story, but I ran it past him and he said it never happened. But I was like, I didn't fucking randomly create this in my head. So I heard it somewhere. But apparently he was home and our buddy Ethan was over and it was just them two. And then when Ethan left, Andre was like, bye, Ethan. And the door closed as Ethan left. And Andre heard upstairs, bye, Ethan. And there was nobody else home.
No.
And I swear to God, I heard this fucking story, but he told me he never told me that. And I was like, nah, dude, I heard that somewhere. Or,
do you know the kind of voice it was by any chance? Or like,
no.
Oh my God, that's so.
Yes, actually, it sounded just like you.
Oh no, I'm the ghost. I'm the maniac. I'm the maniac.
You ever had anything creepy?
Yeah, you brought it up.
Man,
he's like, no conspiracies, no creepy stories. Just want to know about them.
No, yeah, I'm super intrigued by all this stuff, but like, I mean, nothing like life changing like happened to me paranormal wise. I mean, the worst thing that happened was like, I was at a family friend's house back when I was like, I don't know, 4 years old maybe. And like, there's like a mask on the wall, and then like it just drops. Like it didn't just like just fall off.
Yeah,
like, it went like an angle.
Oh shit! Like it got thrown off.
Yeah, like it got thrown off.
Yeah,
and then the grandparents that were there, whose family friend I was at, their house is haunted. So I mean, and then we've always heard noises, all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing more crazy than the mask for me. Thank God. You guys have had more crazy stories than me.
You know what would creep you the fuck out is if you went through what I went through, and luckily I didn't like buy into any of the either I didn't buy into it or it just didn't fucking come to mind, didn't bother me or whatever. But You wouldn't have lasted a day.
Oh,
or a
no
night
fucking way. I can't imagine.
You don't even know what I'm going to say. I could say
I already
in
know
a
I
wiener
won't last.
schnitzel. I could say you wouldn't last a day in a wiener schnitzel.
He's like, you're goddamn right. I've never been in one.
No, you wouldn't have lasted a night in my grandparents' house when they lived in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh,
because
no.
Man, fuck Kansas. Fuck no. Kansas got all
they
this
got all
shit.
this great
Because
shit.
everything.
Yeah.
my grandma would collect porcelain dolls.
Nope.
And when I tell you, they had
you
a,
just stop it right there.
When they
I'm
had
signing out.
when
I'm
I
cool.
tell you,
I'm kicking it.
They
I'm
had
cool.
a room just for the dolls. It was like the guest room, and when you laid in the bed, like the whole
They're all just staring
they're
at you.
all lined up looking at you.
no.
And if you were
if you hit that,
shut the fuck up,
Why don't you
I will hit this
Why
mic.
don't you fucking tighten it?
I
so
will
it
hit this
stops
mic
falling?
as much as I please.
Did you twist it that much?
What?
You were able to twist it. That thing was loose as shit. That's why I said
No,
tighten it.
my wrist was moving more than the dial was moving. Anyway, they had a whole guest room with these porcelain dolls, and if you were to walk out into the hallway, guess what? More.
Oh my god.
They had almost like a what's it called? Like a wardrobe, but instead it was like glass. And like
I've seen Annabelle, bro.
And
Yeah.
each layer, like there was like 3 different shelves, and each one had dolls sitting on it. And so like if you were to wake up in the middle of the night, you would just see these like palely like lit
That's not okay.
faces
That's
staring
not
at
okay.
you, dude. And that was where we would spend the night if we went and visited
Casually.
grandma and grandpa.
Oh my god. I can imagine as a kid, like you're scared, right? To go spend
dude,
the night over there.
It was kind of weird. It was kind of sleep with one eye open type of thing, just waiting for one of the heads to move.
You're right.
Right.
And then
Just
all of them move.
like all of them are fake except one.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Yeah,
sleeping with one eye open
exactly.
like this, and so are all the dolls.
Yeah, literally. Or you wake up and one's missing.
Like wait, and it's right next to you. Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Fuck, no way.
One of my old friends said that when he was a kid that they had this house that was designed where it was like his parents. So on the second story, it was like a T shape. So the stairs went up, and to the left was his parents' bedroom down the hallway, and to the right was his bedroom down the hallway. So imagine like a T, right? And he said, and if you came out and you looked down the stairs, there was a living room. And he said one night he woke up randomly in the middle of the night, and I guess I think he heard like what he believes was, I think, his grandparents talking or something like that.
Mm.
And I don't think his grandparents are alive. And so he came out of his room and saw like this white orb floating in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said he was like, he didn't know what the fuck to do. So he just started sprinting to his parents' room, and the fucking white orb flew up the stairs and like hit him and he slammed into the wall. And then he just kept running to his parents' room and screamed and like was like this fucking thing, and there was nothing there.
And that's something consistent that happens in like these
It's
ghost sightings. Like it's
white
always
orbs.
an orb. Yeah, like in
Yeah.
pictures, all that.
Like that plane. You remember that plane thing that happened like fucking probably 8 years back, maybe 6 years back?
The missing plane.
No.
Was it when the military jets saw something in the radar that moved like completely unlike anything they'd ever seen?
Oh no.
That
I'm
just
talking
came up
about-
recently. I feel
Yeah,
like, right?
that was-
that one I
recent.
saw. That was what where they were chasing it with the cameras.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it just like fucking outbeat their
Yep.
cameras.
Yep, fucking nuts. Ooh, God.
That's a UFO
No,
for sure,
the
right?
white orb thing it was like you can. I could probably look it up, but it's a white orb on a plane, and I think it was in the middle of a lightning storm, so they don't know if it was like a ghost or there was. Let me look this up.
Can you imagine what like shit like this is creepy for us, right? But
Right.
we're in the 21st century. We have technology, we have science, we have all the stuff to explain a ton of things.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how creepy things were like for civilizations back in the day when they just had like Bronze Age shit, where it was just like we have muskets and swords and like houses, but like no electricity, no internet,
And they didn't even have signs to blame it on.
Dude,
back then. Like-
exactly. And so like my thing is like there are things now that we have a total normal explanation of that for them would have been this type of shit. It would
That
have been
makes
this
sense.
type of
Yeah.
creepy shit. Like, do you know what a water spout is?
yeah. It's a water tornado, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Imagine living on the coast and you look out into the distance and there's a tornado on the water and it's just coming towards you. You don't have science.
Especially back then.
Dude, you're like, the gods are angry. Exactly. That's what you're freaking out at. And I remember, I think that was the explanation for a lot of these instances where there was like towns that were like several miles off the coast, but still relatively close, like Oxnard, for instance, where it would rain like fish or frogs. Like it wouldn't like it, like literally out of nowhere. You'd be outside walking the streets of your neighborhood or of your village or whatever the fuck it was. And it would start like having like live animals fall from the sky. And these are like fully documented instances where like there's like a whole Wikipedia page of like each instance where it happened, when it happened, all this stuff, where animals would just fall from the sky, fish or frogs or whatever. And they think that there was a water spout, aka a water tornado, over like a lake or over like a ocean, and picked up a fuck ton of fish, shot it in the air, and made it rain on that poor little town.
That's where the whole saying, raining
cats and dogs.
Yeah, because it would happen over rainforest too. And it would fucking literally rain spiders.
That makes
it would rain
sense.
spiders.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fucking
rain
nuts.
spiders.
So
Nah.
that whole lightning thing, I can't find it. But from what I remember, there was this white orb, and I didn't know if it was like a fucking ghost or whatever, or if it was during the lightning storm, because it's happened a few times with lightning, that this fucking orb of light just floats around, and that like God, I'm really going off of like old fucking knowledge that I remember reading, but something about like it's an orb of like not lightning, but essentially like electricity,
Right.
that kind of floats around, and I think it actually has energy flowing through it, and then it will just disappear. But I think lightning creates it, from what I remember.
Dude, there's so much weird shit like that out
Like,
there.
they have-
like,
they
So
have
much
no
that we
idea
don't know either.
well,
Like,
there's so
it's
much
just
shit that
crazy.
like we don't know, that scientists already have an explanation for, like since the 80s, that they just like it never went viral, so none of us heard about it. But
Right.
like some shit will happen, and we'll be like, oh my fucking God, it's fucking crazy. And then the scientists will be like, it's this thing. We knew about it like a while back.
Right, because like with lightning, for example, they don't know jack shit about it. Like even still, it's still like a huge mystery.
It rained spiders in Goulburn, Australia, the 15th of May, 2015.
Fuck that.
Yep.
4 years ago, it
Yeah.
rained spiders in Australia. In 2013, it rained spiders in Brazil. In 2007, it rained spiders in San Bernardo Mountains in Argentina. What else we got here? In 2018, various marine animals, including octopus, seashells, and starfish, rained down on China.
What the fuck?
Dude,
Maybe the water spout thing makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
to me.
That's
Worms-
exactly what it
It makes
is.
a ton of
Worms
sense.
Worms in Louisiana in 2007, it rained down. In 1894, in Bath, England, it rained jellyfish.
I could.
Can you imagine?
Not even
walking
imagine.
you're like, oh, I got to go get the mail, and you're walking down the street, and a jellyfish lands on your face.
You're like,
and you
wait.
just get stung.
Somebody quickly pee on me.
I swear it's not a
Kelly,
kink.
where are you?
Oh God.
Lightning. Random fucking fact that I love about lightning is that there can be a storm 100 miles away. Hundreds of miles. You can't even fucking see it. Like it could be in the mountains. And this is how little they know about lightning, that it can be a clear day over here, 100 miles away, that storm is happening, and lightning can strike over here. They have no fucking idea how it works, how it travels, what it connects to, all of that. But they think that it connects and just follows a fucking line and just strikes down randomly. Lightning
possible,
has
for sure.
it's been randomly recorded.
This is the perfect segue for one of the
Oh,
topics
Jesus.
that we have been waiting to talk about. He just hit the wall. We've been waiting to talk about this man forever. We were talking about this shit before the podcast was a podcast, but when we talked about this was like, if we had a podcast, we would talk about this on the podcast.
We
and I've
knew.
been wanting to talk about this when we had a guest on. And so,
Bullshit.
Ryan, you
Let's
are the
go.
guest.
Oh,
We're
is.
going to talk
And it's
about
perfect.
this.
It's perfect
All
because
right.
I've heard it, so you're good.
Oh my God.
Okay, so as I pull up the Wikipedia page of the man known as Roy Sullivan. And so this man is special because he was struck by lightning not once, not twice,
Not 3 times?
not 3 times, 7 times. This
How?
dude was struck by
How?
lightning 7 times, and it is fucking hilarious. So the first time he got struck was in 1942, and he was in a fire lookout tower. Like, mind you, this dude was a national park ranger in Virginia. And so his job was to like work out in these like national parks with like high peaks and low valleys and constant storms and stuff. And so he had to be in a fire lookout tower. And in 1942, he was actually hiding from a thunderstorm that was coming. And the tower was newly built, so it had no lightning rod in it at the time. And it was already hit like 7 or 8 times. And
God.
this dude is sitting in it. And he said there was fire all over the place. And so since it was hit so many times, like shit got caught on fire. And he ran out and just a few feet away received what he considered to be the worst lightning strike he had ever felt. This shit was getting lit up, so he ran out and got hit by lightning. And it burnt a 1/2-inch strip all along his right leg, hit his toe, and left a hole in his shoe. Because when electricity goes through something, it needs to find a way out.
Right, yeah.
And so a lot of the times, like, it'll like literally knock shoes off of you. It left a hole in his shoe. So that was in 1942. Homeboy was chilling for over 20 years after that. He was good.
And that was one of the first one,
Can we
right?
pause really quick so I can show Ryan, and hopefully we remember to put this on the podcast, but what lightning looks like when
So I'll bring it up real quick. So when you get hit by lightning, it actually leaves a mark on you, and it leaves a design, and it's called a lightning flower. And because of how the electricity like finds its currents through your body, it leaves a super unique design that you like can't really like
scroll over to the right.
describe. But it leaves
These are low-key kind of cool looking. They're really cool looking.
Dude, they're so cool looking.
dude.
I think there was some dude who got struck by lightning, lived, got the lightning flower left on him, and they got it tattooed over.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do the
They're
same thing.
so
This is
fucking
cool.
So if you get struck by
Not that
lightning,
I want to be struck by lightning.
yeah,
but,
no,
like,
but if you get struck by lightning and
it's
you
super
live,
interesting.
you will get
Yeah.
a scar that looks like
It's
a
nuts.
vine
that's
almost.
so crazy.
It literally
It
looks
almost
like a
looks
tree
like-
of life
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah, tree of
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Sometimes it almost looks like lightning itself.
Yeah,
on your body. There's some fake picture out there. I'll warn people right now. There's a
Wow.
fake picture out there of some dude's back who's like has makeup done on it. It's all purple and black and has like it looks like
I
lightning.
think that's the
going
one
on
I
it.
saw.
Yeah, that
Okay,
one's
it's fake.
That
Okay,
one's
damn
fake.
it. All
Yeah,
right.
but the real ones have like a scarring that goes through you.
No, yeah,
right?
that's-
okay. So back to Roy Sullivan, right? Homeboy was struck in 1942 and then was chilling. But then in 1969, he was hit again. Apparently, he was hit while he was in his truck and he was driving along a mountain road. And the metal body of a vehicle normally protects you because metal conducts lightning. But for some reason, Roy Sullivan is a better
everything,
lightning
right.
conductor than anything. Because first, it hit a tree nearby him. And it first hit a tree nearby him and then deflected onto the open window of the truck.
Oh my god!
The strike
no.
knocked him unconscious, burnt off his eyebrows and eyelashes, and set his hair on fire. The uncontrolled truck kept moving as he was unconscious until it stopped near the edge of a cliff.
Oh my fucking god! This guy's the worst
In
luck. Basically,
July
Is that-
1969, he gets struck a second time. July 1970.
Oh, so like a few months apart.
He was struck
Again.
while he was in his front yard. The lightning hit a nearby power transformer and from there jumped and hit his left shoulder, searing his skin.
He's still recovering from the last one.
Spring
God.
1972.
Oh,
2
my
years later,
God, no.
he was working inside his ranger station in the national park when another strike occurred. It set his hair on fire and he tried to smother the flames with his jacket, and he rushed to the restroom but couldn't fit his head under the sink, head still on fire, so he got a towel and soaked it and then put his head on it. And he said, although he never was a fearful man, after the fourth strike he began to believe that some force was trying to destroy him and that he had acquired a fear of death.
And he said he's got struck 7 times total.
Yeah, 7 times. This is the
Oh my
fourth time.
God.
He began to believe that he would somehow attract lightning if he stood even if he stood in a crowd of people. So he carried a can of water with him in case his hair was set on fire again.
An emergency water.
That was in spring 1972.
Oh my God.
August 1973. He was out on patrol in the park when he saw a storm cloud forming and he drove away quickly. But the cloud, he said later, seemed to be following him. He finally thought he had outrun it, so he decided he was safe to leave his truck. Soon after he left his truck, he was struck by lightning.
It is on purpose now, right?
He said Sullivan stated he actually saw the bolt hit him. Lightning moved down his left arm and left leg and knocked his shoe off his foot, and then crossed over to his right leg and just below his knee. Still conscious, Sullivan crawled to his truck and poured the can of water over his hair, which was on fire.
Oh my god.
This was in 73, June 5th, 1976. He was struck by lightning again, and he saw a cloud which he reported was following him, and he tried to run away, but it struck his ankle, and it went up and lit his hair on fire. And the final one is my favorite one. That was in 76. In June 25th, 1977. It was a Saturday morning, and Sullivan was fishing in a freshwater pool.
Oh no.
He was fishing when out of nowhere, lightning hit the top of his head, set his hair on fire, traveled down, and burnt his chest and his stomach. Sullivan turned to his car when something unexpected occurred. A bear approached the pond out of nowhere and tried to steal the fish on his hook.
Oh my god.
Sullivan had the strength and courage to strike the bear with a tree branch, claiming it was the 22nd bear he has hit in his life. And then went back to his truck and put his hair out.
I feel bad for his hair so bad.
And you know how he died?
How?
He killed himself.
He said, fuck this.
He put a revolver
Fucking
in his,
lightning strike.
dude, he fucking killed himself.
No.
Oh, he said that, and there's a fun fact was that Sullivan's wife was also struck by lightning once when a storm suddenly arrived as she was hanging clothes in their backyard. Her husband was helping her, saw, and ran in the house. And she got struck instead. And the worst part was all of these lightning strikes, he went to the ranger station for treatment. So they were all documented. So it wasn't like he made the shit up or just had a burn on him. Like every time he had to go for treatment. And
I can imagine how paranoid it'll be after the first two.
Apparently, there was a time where I'm trying to find it on the page, see if I can see it. He died at 71 from a self-inflicted gunshot to the head.
Okay.
Yeah. At that point,
I would have done the
fucking
same.
why not? Because he probably would have gotten struck at least 3 more times.
if I'm going to die, I'm going to do it.
I'm gonna do it myself.
But when he said that there was another time where he was younger, I think he was a kid, and he was out in the fields of his father's farm, and he was working, and he raised a scythe to cut the wheat or whatever he was working on, and it got struck by lightning. And that was the first time ever when he was young. Jesus. And then he lived his life and grew up and got old and became a park ranger, and then got struck 7 times.
You know the odds of getting hit by a lightning strike to begin with?
Oh,
He's got to be one of the luckiest people in a sense, ever.
Unluckiest.
Yeah, right.
He had to have had so much iron and lead in his body or something to be driving a truck with the window down and for lightning to hit a tree and then jump off the tree and hit you in the face.
Zeus is his
I literally
dad.
can't believe he survived all that.
I know. Lightning wasn't even what took him out.
Exactly. It was himself because he said fuck it.
That's fucking nuts.
Oh, I've been waiting to tell that fucking story.
Well, I'm glad you told me because that's fucking amazing.
That's good shit.
I can't wait to get struck by lightning now.
On that note, gentlemen, I kind of have to wrap it up.
For sure.
I got plenty of things I got to do in
I
the
do
next
too.
couple hours.
This is the middle of the busiest week of my life, and I'm glad I was able to.
Thank you for fucking doing
damn,
this,
Time
dude.
for you guys.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
for
dude.
sure.
I hope this was a good time, dude.
Oh, it was an amazing time. I had a great time.
This was fucking fun.
Hopefully, I'll be back on one day. Catch you guys up. What's
Dude,
going on?
we plan on
Hell yeah.
repeating all our guests, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For
At some
sure.
point, we just want to keep having we obviously want to have new people on, but we definitely want to have people that we've had on before.
Right,
Yeah,
for
why
sure.
not?
What we should start doing, and you kind of brought it up while he was in the bathroom, but we should start doing like almost like guest dynamic twists where we have 2 guests from different episodes.
Oh
on
yeah, that's
together.
what I brought up, was saying having you and Joel on.
I would love that. I
All
haven't
of
seen
us
him in forever.
and all of us drinking, doing like a fucking.
Oh no! Oh,
Dude,
dude, no,
yeah.
just like a drunk.
Oh
fucking,
my god, I'm down.
drunk shenanigan.
And so it would be dope to have like 2 different guests from 2 different episodes on at the same time.
Yeah.
And then do different ones. Like
We can do that soon,
Dude,
yeah,
we
should
just
do
have
it.
to
It'd be
plan it
fun.
where like everybody can, because obviously my thing is like you do not drink and drive. So if everybody
Oh,
gets
yeah.
Ubers, cool, then go home.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like either kick it here, crash here, whatever the fuck. I know there's not a lot of room, but we can figure that part out. But we'll do it when everybody has like the next day free, so you're not dead.
No, yeah, that sounds
Or
fucking
like
amazing.
the next day, at least you're not starting your day until like halfway through or something.
Yeah, well, just guys,
But
please let
I
me know.
think-
I would be happy
Oh,
to be
dude,
back on here.
fuck yeah,
this
that'd
was
be a
so
blast.
much
I
fun.
appreciate you guys,
Yeah.
for real. And it was great to like talk about stuff I had never talked about before, and like
Yeah, just
put
kinda
that-
let it out.
Like you said, that weight off your shoulders. Like it was
Yeah.
great.
And you get to like listen back to it and hear it a second time. And like there are literally parts of this podcast like that you've already forgotten have happened. That when you listen again,
Like,
you're like,
yeah,
oh shit.
we talked about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how can are you interested in
You wanna plug your social
Yeah,
media?
do you want to plug all that, or you don't really care
I'm
that
private
much?
on everything, but at baby chisels __ on Twitter and at Ryan the Lion _ on Instagram. That's all.
Is Baby Chisel spelled any? Is it just BABYCHIZZLES?
That's it.
Nice.
That's it.
With the underscore? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well,
If you get any follow requests and you have no idea who they are and they follow me,
if I see
and
mutual,
Nick,
oh yeah,
just
Even
screenshot it, send it to us, be like, who's this? And be like, oh, that's the
followers
homie
of you guys
Brandon.
are followers of mine. Don't matter.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
It's just we always, well, I can't say always because we were forgetting for a little while,
All the
but
time.
like we try to all the time plug people in there just so if people decide they want to reach out or just
And they
you know,
get tagged in
Oh,
the posts
and
we do.
if anyone out there needs like a manager or something, let me know. I can start your career.
yeah,
there it is.
100%.
Dude, we
yeah.
should have Caleb start his comedy career.
Fuck
through
yeah.
them.
Which also,
Did you guys have a date set for like
Dude,
when he's
okay,
supposed
the
to
date
do
was
something?
what, last weekend?
No.
Are you serious?
No.
It was when was it? It's
And this
coming
is-
up.
this is what's
it's-
upsetting.
It's when Oh, we're busy.
so we
Oh, you
we
guys
done
are-
fucked up on that one, and we're gonna have to reschedule that ASAP because like I don't want to be the type of person that says like
Like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna
like I
speak
need
it
to
in
hit up
existence.
Caleb and I need to find out when he's free, and then I'm just gonna schedule that.
We'll just reschedule it, but we're gonna do it.
Because we had scheduled it for July. June 17th is when we're doing
You guys going to Vegas?
Vegas. Yeah. So we scheduled it for then, and that was the only weekend that everybody in
could
the
get
group
Vegas
could-
going, so
So-
it just so happened.
Right.
But
yeah. But with that being said,
we're gonna do it.
we're gonna reschedule his thing because I'm gonna get on his ass about that. I was actually gonna text him last week.
I hope
and
he's
forgot.
still been writing and all that, Caleb.
Yeah,
I
he's
hope
still.
been
I
writing.
not.
guarantee he
He's
has
gonna
some bullet
fucking-
points.
he's-
He's gonna go
he's
through.
gonna
them.
get
He's
up on it.
literally like one of my whole life. He's been one of the funniest people to ever know.
he's so
Like,
Dude, he's
ever.
hilarious.
He is fucking hilarious. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited to see how he does up there.
Oh, I am too.
So what we'll do is, honestly, I just want to get that date scheduled, talk about it on here, talk about it everywhere. I just want to get as many people as possible to go.
Hell yeah.
And just go have a good fucking time.
It's funny. Like I see this podcast kind of like almost like a story being told, and like
Yeah.
each guest we have is a new character to the story.
Yeah.
and like the characters know each other. So
I
like
love how
Ryan
it-
knows
oh, yeah.
Caleb and all this
Yeah,
shit. Like
yeah.
and Joel and
And we're eventually going to run into people that like get introduced to the podcast randomly. And then they'll just be like, yeah, I was listening to this person's podcast. And now we talk because of their episode. And it's just like,
Dude, yeah.
that's what we're enjoying the fuck out of doing this for.
And that's great. This is really cool. Like what you guys made is really
Thank you,
freaking
man.
cool. If you guys keep running with it, like
Oh,
seriously,
yeah,
we're
we
not
definitely
stopping,
will.
please.
bro.
Like,
We're
Yeah.
not stopping. We're only getting better.
We only have a plan to just keep going.
and I'm looking forward to see where you guys go. Like,
Thank you.
I'm excited for you guys.
Fuck,
Appreciate it,
Basically.
dude. Thanks, man.
So again, thank you for being
I
on.
appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Hell
I look
yeah.
forward to being back on here. Thank you.
So with that was
episode 23.
Yeah.
23. All right.
23. Fucking cool.
Thanks,
It's crazy.
guys. I thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Fuck
of
yeah,
course,
man.
man.
Thanks for coming on.
Hell yeah.
And we'll
So are
see
we
you.
gonna clap? Do we end it with a clap? Is
No,
that
well, we actually just end it with like a see you later kind of thing.
Sign off, man.
And we
All right.
typically try to have the guests just say bye after
right.
every. We're like giving out the whole like this is what we're
giving
trying to do, but
All right,
it's
so this
just
is what we
randomly.
do. Hey guys, this is episode 23. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you.
go? That's it.